Countdown. Nope, it says you're live.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How are you?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, let's see. Well, I got, where am I gonna start?
Where to start?
Yeah, I got the guys down there putting that shoulder rock on today on the Onega and Old Nine.
Nice road. I drove the other day.
Yeah, it is nice. And, so we got that machine hauled up there last week and they're all, that's what we're gonna be doing this week until we get done. And then after that, we're gonna start blade patching. So, cause the weather's finally warming up.
I was gonna say, it looks like we're gonna start getting some decent weather.
Yeah, so got that, and then, the dozer from the landfill, we got that, taken care of, and it's down in, Topeka, getting that final drive worked on.
So there's a leak in the final drive.
You got the main leak fixed.
The main links.
Was that hose or something?
Hydraulic filter.
Oh, really?
The hydraulic filter.
Get a little
Around
loose
the
in it?
seal or?
Yeah, I got loose, it was loose.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's a cheap fix.
Yeah, it could have been bad.
that,
Yeah, just,
So the final drive's leaking bad enough to feel like it needs fixed?
yeah, get that thing, just get it up to par, and then, yeah, we did some other, they changed a lot, got everything ready.
change filters on it.
Yep. So it should be good to go for a long time after this.
Great.
So, yeah, got that going. The mechanic from last week, we were talking to, he took a job somewhere else. So
We're back to square one.
we're back to square one. I did have a guy, I talked to a guy. I don't know how we do that, but
If you want to remain anonymous, we can probably go into executive session for a few minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, or however you want to word it, but
Has an application been submitted?
he has not. He just wanted to kind of feel it out. So,
maybe you just want to tell him what he wants to make an hour and we can go from there.
I already know what he wants to make.
I don't know, maybe these guys need to know though.
He wants 29, but he can work on everything.
Yeah. Got a bunch of experience.
Lots.
Well, I'd say before we do anything,
Get an application.
get an app in.
Let's see his resume. Let's-
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he willing to run equipment though too, if you need to,
Mhm.
out on the road?
But he would be very well qualified compared to what we were. I mean, even way more advanced, I would say, than what we were.
Oh,
looking at
with the prior app we were considering.
by far.
Yeah.
So like that dozer that we sent to Topeka, that would not have had to happen. That would just be that right here.
Yeah, you could fix the front right here.
But, yep, I'll talk to him and tell him to get
Yeah.
that in and go from there.
Meanwhile, you're making do with
We need,
Lloyd and
yeah, we're pretty
whomever.
short-handed.
You what?
We're pretty short-handed right now. We need another truck driver at least. And then, well, we got two guys, they're gonna retire this fall, so we need a couple blade operators. Do you want me to go ahead and pursue a couple of these applicants that, we got applications for, or? We definitely need a truck.
I was gonna say, where you jumped out of a truck, you probably right now need at least one guy for sure, so I don't see a problem with getting some feelers out.
I got one kid up there, he lives in DuBois. He would match pretty good.
Well, I'd say you bring us somebody that you might recommend, Adam.
Okay.
Is what I would say.
because like right now, I mean, I gotta go down there and help when I get out of here. That's all.
These power washing the bulldozer the other day when I stopped in. I hope you went home and took a shower.
I did. I took a shower at noon.
You always want to do that at starting 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Straight home, straight to the shower.
But yeah, we definitely need another truck for sure.
Well, if you get time, I'd say talk, you come to us with a name.
Okay. Yeah, because I got an applicant and he can run everything. So, the way it sounded.
Yeah,
I just need to contact him.
right.
But I just wanted to make sure.
Have an in-person interview with him or.
Right.
Not right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you talk to them and
Okay.
see what,
You be a young kid, younger kid too.
you're the one that'll be working the most with him, Adam.
All right.
Went out to recycling, check that out last Monday. Everyone's very smart.
Yep.
That window sealers. Work behind it. It's gonna, that whole wall probably needs to be taken out.
In their office. I didn't look at that course. I just seen a cup sitting in the kitchen. They wanted for him.
Well, let's put it this way, window seals are made to be like this, not like this. So there's been so much water on that window seal, it's actually pushed that board up, it's down back behind the wall. That sheetrock's on the wall. So, and it's, I'm sure that insulation is, just fabulous. It's pretty bad.
She said something about you guys.
I told her I wanted bids on those doors and the windows. Now, I didn't know how long it would be for mechanic on Joe's van.
I guess I didn't even know about that.
Joe's van.
The exhaust, he's straight piping it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even.
You can hear him across town when he's coming in.
Yeah.
You want to hear Joe coming?
Yeah, I wanna know when he's coming, ahead of time.
But I didn't know.
Yeah, I guess
was
he never even mentioned that.
Yeah, it,
It's just another thing to the list.
yeah. I didn't know. I told him I'm not for sure. How quickly I can. I told him I didn't know.
That's something we
If
can.
this guy was gonna turn around, but
On a rainy day, we can,
get
if I got some guys in the shop, we can. So,
sounds like it. I didn't crawl underneath it that day, but I guess it's probably lost by foot somewhere.
Right. And probably be something we're probably gonna have to budget for on that building, raise that budget, which is easier said than done right here, right now. But, I mean, it's stuff needs done.
Can we have to raise the budget or can we raise the price of trash coming in or something? Kind of help that thing. carry its own
Oh,
weight. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know how much you can go up without getting in trouble.
Well, the question is, how much can you go up before it starts going to the ditch?
Well, that's.
That's the question.
I'll tell you what, everybody in the country anymore, a lot of people have a dumpster. Like out in the country. Whereas when I was little, we just burned it or
Now back.
they had it down. Everybody had it down.
Yeah.
So,
People are doing a better job.
kind of a change too. I mean, it's, well.
People are becoming more environmentally conscious than what they
Yeah.
were
They are.
years ago. So that's why if you raise it a little bit out there, most people probably wouldn't box as much.
No.
If they see that you're making upgrades around the place.
She had mentioned they had like a plastic shredder, other things, equipment they're not gonna use it anymore.
But some of that-
But like that glass breaker, we need. Does Nancy Gafford, she still?
Yes, yes.
I need to contact her and see what kind of a grant we can get
Yeah.
for like maybe, can we get like a new glass breaker? Because I mean, that thing's shot. They don't even use it. They're using the bucket of the skid loader to break glass and then dump it. Instead of using glass breaker. So it needs, all the bearings are out on it, needs a new belt, which the belt's not.
But if we had a mechanic in the shop, he could bring that into town here when in between times start
Fixing that.
fixing it.
Yeah,
Plastic shredder, I don't think you're gonna move it to town, but that glass
No.
breaker, look to me like you could bring it to town.
yeah. Oh, yeah, the glass breaker, no problem. But I don't know, like on them kind of repairs, can you get a grant?
Oh, it'd be worth a call to Nancy,
Yeah.
and I mean, I can do that. I'll contact Nancy.
Okay.
It's even that other thing, got that oil leak on it, the
Come back here.
pack.
Yeah,
It don't look like it's bad, but it looks It's one of them
getting
slow
there.
tree.
It's just making a
Yeah,
mess.
it's making a mess.
Eventually it'll turn into a problem, big problem.
Yeah, I read an interesting article about just recycling in general. I wish I had read it, but, anyhow,
How's that?
they, I usually always whine about the plastic water bottles. But that clear plastic like this, like 70% of that does get recycled.
Mhm.
The big, water or fabric softener stuff, or something used in the laundry room, those big jugs. Yeah, mostly says, I hate those things, those things. Most of those end up in the dump. Because they're not, in order to turn this back into virgin resin, doesn't take too much. But you take something that's got logos all over, it's yellow or it's red, that goes to another process that just, they don't do because it costs too much.
I see.
So I was, like I say, I whined about the plastic water bottles, but those are the ones that are really, yeah, clear plastic is pretty easy to recycle, but anyhow, bad mouth the thing, but it was.
All right.
So,
Okay.
I'll talk to her and see if there's any, because there could
Can
be.
they, like, even for like for renovation, like for doors and like, well, that'd be on the landfill side, I guess, but does she kind of help with that? or
For
she
the
must-
building itself,
Yeah.
I told her probably those doors are probably gonna be in the range of 7,000 to 10,000. And we'll have to spend another two for them for 1,500.
Does anybody local put in doors? I mean, there's like Steelers or Stalwart.
There are others out there.
Like
Most of the
Eric
ones that do around here, I think, is Blue
I was
Valley.
gonna say, I had Blue Valley come out and put mine in because they were down the relation to him, recommend him, did a good job.
who,
Blue Valley
no,
door.
is that Tim Burdick? Didn't he have a brother-in-law or something that
Yeah,
did
that's
that?
like,
Oh, is that who does it?
Mark's overhead
Mark
door.
overhead door, there you go. They're from Silver Lake.
Someplace down there, I want to say Rossville, yeah.
Blue Valley doors out of Beatrice. All they do is doors and gutters. So you need
There
a
you
part,
go.
I need
I've
a
had
part
it
for
be
my
my
door
door.
and they had it on the shelf. You just.
That's all right, yeah.
There's all different kinds.
So
of
it's
doors.
like have Diana get bids from, like on the wall from Scissors, Bergman, Stallwater.
You can, I would quote those guys too,
People
but most
probably-
of them are gonna,
They're not probably gonna give you much of a bid on something like that when
Yeah.
you don't know what's behind it. I mean, they could probably bid a window and a re-sheet rock in the office.
yeah,
Right.
that's not gonna be big.
But then the doors just go through like that.
I
Blue
get
Valley,
prices.
oh, there's overhead door in St. Joe, Topeka.
Alright.
If you talk to Blue Valley Door, I've always dealt with the owner, his name's Ken. He could look at it and tell you if you should go back with them,
Accordingly.
whatever you call them, that roll up in themselves, or if you should just put a regular high lift door in, you know.
Alright.
Somebody that does that for a living. And I'm not trying to promote him, you know, if there's somebody local that
Right.
does that, they're more than welcome to. I just don't know who locally does.
Yeah.
doors.
Not that big a door,
Right.
we're big doors.
Oh, it's like 20 by 20, or 20 by,
Yeah.
They're really tall.
They're really tall, and they're nice and wide.
You don't hang that hardware off a 6-foot step ladder.
No. So, okay. Alrighty, well, I might have to get that number from you later on
That's
Blue
fine.
Valley, or then,
Yeah,
so might have to get that number from you, or that place, that aid. So, of that St. Joe place.
Oh, okay. It's just the overhead door company.
Is it?
There's
This is
a
the name
large
of it.
change.
Yeah.
That's all they do is overhead doors, that's it.
Oh, okay. Alright. And what was the other one, that bird?
Done so.
Mark's overhead door.
Mark's overhead. My trusty secretary here.
Thing is,
she's right, and that's good. I mean, no offense, Kathy, but, I mean,
You start pricing garage doors, everybody's got different rollers, different orders, you know what I mean?
I think it's there in Silver Lake.
I can tell you, Blue Valley did really good for me. I had, our door got, it was in the winter time. It was on Friday, right around 5, the door came down at an angle and jammed, it wouldn't come back up or down. They sent the guys out in that storm. Got the door fixed and put it back down. I was surprised, I didn't think we were gonna get it, but I could have been out of a lot of propane, so
Oh,
I was getting kind of nervous.
Did you talk to the guys down there about that rock getting hauled in from Big Springs?
I have no idea.
You want their
No, that's
number?
fine. I got a phone number.
402.
Okay.
228
228,
1276.
1276. Thank you.
So,
Got to move out. Yeah. Kim's the owner if you want to ask.
I got
him.
it written down already.
yep, I guess that's kind of it right now.
Well, he-
Well, I rode with Hall Brothers, they came up and looked, and they have not called back yet on, kind of like an estimate of what it would cost to overlay these roads, you know, the Burns about the Stringtown Turnpike. Still waiting on that. I did contact Bettis, they were thinking about coming up, but they were like, I don't know how competitive we'll be, where Hall Brothers is right here, so.
So have you approached them about hot mix and blade patch or?
Hall Brothers, they
Yeah.
said it might not work, the mix they'll kick out of here.
Well, I think I asked you that
Yeah,
before.
might not work for blade patch, but
What about out of Marysville? Maybe it's
out of Blue Rapids,
wherever.
yeah, that's where they got their plants.
Okay.
Blue Rapids. It'd be probably the same stuff.
Okay, I didn't know they made
Yeah,
different stuff.
They make different types of pellets down there. So. And we get along really good with
Yeah,
that.
that's fine.
But it's just the trucking. But I'm gonna have 2 crews running blade patch next week. You know,
Okay.
I'm gonna use the belly dumps, go to one guy, and then 10 meters go to another guy. Try to get it done, get through it.
That'd be great. That's a big job. Get that blade patch
It takes a long time.
behind you, yeah.
Then as soon as we got that done, hopefully I contacted about chips and still can't get any.
See, that's why I didn't know if you talked to
Mhm.
Big Springs, 'cause they, sounds like they got chips, so we'll get in touch.
Okay, yeah, well, they do have chips, okay.
Who does, Jason, you say?
That Corey was talking about last week down there by those Big Springs, it's east of Topeka,
Mhm.
Oh,
and they gave you a price to haul it up
Is
there.
that a Hams?
No,
No, this isn't a Hams.
no, it's,
Actually,
Capital City Trucking that they're hauling for them.
yeah,
They've got a good price on the rock, it's just the freight, so that's where he's down to help anyway, that's why I didn't know if we just hired them guys to haul it up there, stockpile it over on, the different spots in the county where he would need it.
if they could get some of it,
Yep.
you know.
get a lot of it.
Bring this, yeah.
Cause our trucks don't run for nothing up and down the roads either.
Well, no, heck no, they
Yeah, I
don't.
can get them to haul the chips in, for a lot of them, while we're blade patching, well, we can just jump right in and chip and seal and get this wiped out.
Did you talk to any of your truck drivers to see if they wanted to go to work early on those days, see if they could get a third load in?
Oh, yeah, not really yet, no, but okay, I mean, it's
Maybe
8
it don't,
hours.
maybe it don't make that much difference, I
Yeah.
mean, if-
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would,
I know
You talking, chipping and sealing?
No,
blade patch.
Blade
Blade
patching,
patching. If they run out of here, I don't know what time they open down there, but you know,
Oh, they're
they're-
open early.
if you can get down there time they was open and get back in time to where the rest of the crew shows up to work and they got the first load sitting there instead of
Yeah.
wait 2 hours, but
No,
I don't wanna tell you how to do,
no, I know,
if them guys aren't interested, I mean, you can't force them to work overtime.
right, well, they would do, yeah, then they'd sleep early.
Or you could do that, too.
Yeah. Cold there,
Okay,
so, I think that's about it.
okay. Well,
Any other questions? Certain?
You know, a lot of questions and concerns.
Oh, jeez. I gotta go.
Jenny is not long enough.
How's Christina get along? Good.
Good, she got a baby in Friday, signed her pig voucher. Sleeping and eating.
Pooping.
Yeah, that comes with that.
Everybody's doing good.
Yeah, good. She looked really good, so.
How long is she off for? Oh, you don't know? Is she coming back?
I hope so. I know, I worry about that too, Jason. I'm thinking, please don't be a stay-at-home mom.
It's hard to find daycare anymore.
She's got daycare and she's got, grandparents that'll help, so.
Good.
Great. No, so hopefully she'll come back.
Okay,
Get out of here.
thanks.
Sounds
man.
good. All right, thanks. Yeah, see you guys be here. Yep.
See you, man.
Thank you.
Okay, be careful.
Thanks.
So, yeah,
See you.
See, Russell said I met him on the way into the courthouse.
Yeah, he didn't have anything.
You don't even have him on there, do
Yep,
you?
he told me already Friday that he
Yeah.
didn't have anything.
Where's Nixie?
Well, she'd probably be here if she was coming in. She.
Aha,
There she is,
Yeah.
yeah,
There,
we're just talking
did
about
we
it.
buy her a tractor or did we not?
no, we didn't.
We did, okay.
That's why you back.
Yeah, oh, good.
You call after hours on a Friday?
You did that over the weekend?
No.
No.
Well, what kind of team spirit is this?
Came in early.
Wow, awesome. I asked her to give me, like the last 10 years of service, what we spent on tractor that we own. Get a full actual true cost, because if you're looking at a lease option, you gotta figure that in there as well, what the true
Right.
cost is, so.
It's a couple pages in, but yeah, there, it starts off with, if I had more time, you'd have like an Excel sheet and years, and, you
This
know,
is fun.
now you just have numbers, tons and tons of numbers.
We did a 3-year lease on it. $37 is what we ended up buying it for.
And there's the, says 3 payments of 9.
Yeah, so we purchased it outright for about 37,000.
Mhm. And then the first two, 2020 and 2019 has the actual invoices attached to it. And then all the years after that, it's just the computer printer.
So did we get another bid from a little 4 horsepower tractor?
I have more things for you guys.
Good.
Let's see that. So,
I stand by you.
yes, please.
Right.
I am a mean biter, so don't
Look out.
don't provoke me. So, 2 options that are new. You won't get this year at all. Don't even think about that. It'll be a next year thing.
The tractor,
The- From Brute Implement. These are the 2 options he's bid. And he couldn't tell me how much, but says that there will be a reduction for whatever I put on that contract until it shows up.
So I'm not gonna be off your hours. Gotcha.
So it's not indicated there, it'd be price per hour.
Probably price per hour, what we use it.
We use about 600 hours a year.
I would think we could give you a price, if it's $20 an hour, you should take that off.
He just,
right, we gotta know that.
yeah, he
I mean,
didn't,
that-
he said there would be, and he didn't give me a number. John Deere said we expect it to be in the same condition that it is appearing now.
It's a shredder tractor, we can't guarantee.
Yeah,
I'm like, if he doesn't roll it down the hill, he's had it for 10 years and he hasn't rolled it down a hill, I mean, come on.
soon as you hook it up to the shredder, I don't care if you start the PTO, they all look the same.
Used.
Yes.
So there's that, but Brenda also gave me, there is one that is used, that is en route, or they have it there now, I don't know. It's about 3 years old, it has 185 hours on it. It's the same as that Maxim 125, it's Maxim 125. He said I had a couple luxury things, but I think it's just like a leather steering wheel and some shocks or something like that, which would be nice shocks. Any pictures? Any pictures for you? You're welcome.
What's the running total on this guy, Jay?
I didn't make you a spreadsheet. You didn't give me enough
But there's probably no Johnny Tractor at all, is there?
No, it's the same. 2-year warranty, but they said the warranty numbers they gave us last time was for a lesser tractor, obviously. So it's gonna cost more for the extended warranty, but it comes with a 2-year factory. They'll sell it as new with the warranty.
About the mail and runs, let's see, he's in it for 600 hours.
He's a red guy. We don't want the cheap one. We want something like this, but he probably wants a new one that we can't have for 2 years.
He's not really red. No. But while I was talking to Adam, I also got a bid for a blue one.
Okay.
And
Should I just-
More options.
yeah,
the
go to
better.
the back page. That's the easy one. Well,
Oh.
that's mine. I got you another picture. I know you did with pictures.
Can you get a little plate to this so we can-
That'd be nice.
Or model.
Yeah, the little one. I can't see the button on the inside. It's too little. Yeah.
So what's the point on this one?
I don't know. I got that this morning.
We won't get this one till 22.
But that's no different than a red one unless you look at the used. If you look at a brand new red one, you're not gonna get that for next year.
So what was the difference on the new one?
48.
Look at that.
So he said he'd also get me a land pride bid for mower,
Oh, for a month?
but I haven't got it yet. So
Uh,
if that's something of interest,
After
They are-
talking with Gary the other day, not this Gary.
Evans.
Evans. I don't think he'd go anywhere. If he does, he said it ain't no big deal. Get parts from warranty. I guess we bought a lot of shredders from him, like every single one we've ever had. Sounds like we've only had problems with one, according to him. One gearbox, he said it was under warranty, nothing. And he priced the bigger tires on the back and things
Yeah.
like that, that I don't think the other guys did.
yeah, I think he said he had the bigger,
22s or something, instead of 17s. One thing he was asking, do you guys really need the independent rear suspension on the wheels? He said that would save us some money if we didn't go with that. Is it in your list of askings?
I don't think it's in there. Or is it, it's on the second page. On that one.
Yeah, the Tanny walking axles.
Mhm.
He said that's a high wear item on them. If you didn't have that on there, he didn't know if we needed that.
I can ask if that makes a huge difference.
So probably, you guys probably wanted that at first to walk through ditches and stuff, but when you put the bigger tires on there, you don't know if it's necessary.
That helps a lot, doesn't it? Are those pneumatic?
No, they're like it.
Well, with, I guess the bigger tire will help with that, but
But, yeah, he's in the bumpiest of bumpy.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I want
that
his opinion.
suspension, that's a pretty big deal.
I've never run one that had the walking camera, so I don't know how much.
Yeah.
I prefer to have his opinion since he's the one that owns it.
Right.
I'm not the one to say that. So
So that one.
does that make a bunch of sense? Good. I highlighted it for you, just to help you.
You're awesome.
Mhm. I said, just to give you cover.
The heritage thing, they have us one in 30 days, is that right?
So if that, on those, look at that, last picture. On the,
They're already.
no,
They're Color.
the one, if we purchased it outright, has June 15th on it. So that's a this year thing. And then if you were interested in doing the quarters, or just 20?
Thank you.
Okay, if you did the lease, rent, whatever you wanna call it, they would get us one no matter what, ASAP. It just might not be the right model one. They get us whatever, and then when they have the nicer one, they give us that.
I went and talked to, Friday afternoon. He said on the lease, some of them would be like this first one would probably be an in model,
Yeah, they said they might not have the
And then-
nicer one.
and then the other one would be like an R model.
Right.
One thing I was reading in those books though, I think this tractor has the ability to do, I don't think the case does once you bump up the model. It looks like the case with a smaller frame maybe. It's a lighter tractor.
Yeah,
But it's got a swivel seat on that John Deere, so he can be running this way and swivel it.
Oh, I bet
And
that
determine-
here probably does.
The nicer one does,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those would, yeah.
Yeah, that first one that she got a price for, madam.
nobody liked that.
Well, I was kind of like, I was pulling up the model numbers and stuff. And, I don't know how heavy that thing is, but I'm guessing if you're on an incline, that might want to where the back wants to walk in. Now you're
Yeah.
Trying to drive uphill. all the time. So, I don't think that would does it. I mean, we probably want to want a bigger hovercraft.
That's what I was saying, he wasn't really pro-red on this.
Good. Last thing you want is him to not be safe on inclines and roll tractor.
And he's just really, he really likes to have them look good. He's all about, he wants to do a good job.
Yeah, but
And he'll keep going back.
it's like you're a whole lot of difference. Not how the Mac, that Maxim should be about the same.
But I asked specifically to bid out for 6130.
What was Todd, or it is, what was their trade-in price?
30, the cement.
Yeah, what did,
So if they were gonna buy, Heritage was to buy ours 34. That was-
what was Canada doing over
38.
there? So that's within the market value.
Yeah, I think, what did the,
If you go off of find the new one. So that's the listing price, so then you can.
gotcha. So basically what you're telling me is the red one and the blue one are a little bit cheaper, but the green one we can have
Immediately,
pretty quickly.
unless you look at the used red one.
Unless we go with the used red one, which I guess it just got a 2-year warranty on it, factory warranty.
But we don't know yet what is going to take us for using our truck. Well, this one it won't matter, you're right, you're right.
It won't matter if you go with the used
Yep.
one.
With the used one, it won't matter which one.
I want that in writing whether we get a 2-year factory warranty with a used tractor, if we go that way.
What was the difference on the
So if we bought it new, it was 48, and if we buy the 185-hour used one, it was 44.
But we can have it right away. You get the brand new one, you're waiting until March of, it'll be a year from now before she sees it.
Right, or green one,
Or green one.
then I have it in possibly June.
You already kind of made the comment the other day too, if we're gonna go with this shredder, he needs to know pretty quick.
If he and the kid use it, he can be around.
Yeah.
All kinds of that's true. Well, those bush hogs have been good to us.
And he was right in there on the money, so.
The cheapest one was this one, 11.5, and yours was 11.9.
And if he put the bigger tires in other, maybe they're gonna get bigger tires to that.
Well, you guys run tractors all the time. I'm gonna start counting my teeth. That's some big money.
Big man.
Where's the red?
Here. Used,
Used one?
yep, used or new.
That's side by side.
Looks like our oil change just cost us $240.
Did they say what this tractor was? Is it?
It's the same, it's the
I know, but
120.
what it was being used for?
Yeah, what are they doing with it?
A city owned it or something that it didn't get a whole lot of hours on it?
I don't know, he got it from another dealership sitting on there a lot. They got it.
They have it in.
Or it was coming, I don't know if it's there yet or not. When he talked to me, it was not there. Or else it would have.
Any of those have, I mean, if you're gonna be in the seat for 600 hours, they got good seats in them, like air ride seats, like in a truck.
That would, they should be, the one he has now doesn't.
I got a broken back, so that's one. It's like, if I'm gonna be sitting in somewhere for a while, what's it
How bad are you gonna feel if you
gonna?
hit it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I did it, Gary.
How you broke your back? You just woke up one day and you're like surprised?
How required is your wife?
You weren't doing cartwheels?
All that, no.
I'm snoring.
Probably was.
Yeah.
Shake his toes
Guilty.
at first, and wouldn't wake up.
Yeah, you were snoring and she went, boom!
Yup.
That happened to me before. So there's no, is there any kind of instrument you put in those tractors that give you an indication you're about to go old thing?
I was gonna say gravity,
Happy.
gravity, I mean, that might be an indicator, you know, you start going this way.
I guess a wider stance and a wider tire.
And that was one of the things that I know John Muir said they can put the tires out wherever we want. Where I was not under the impression that we could do that with the.
Oh, sure.
For sure.
No.
Well, if you're sitting in the air, the cockpit of an airplane, it's called gimbal. You wanna know which way's out. I flew with a guy one time that hung a ball from the ceiling of the cockpit. So he always knew which way
Oh,
was
it's
down.
which way it was down.
Yeah. In fact, the ball didn't lie. If the
Didn't
ball,
need a
if the ball is on the ceiling of the cockpit, you know you're upside down.
If Justin needs that, I might need to find a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it kind of is a concern if we keep putting buildways on them roads and they keep getting taller, we're not building the shoulders out. I mean, it's.
Get a new mower, there you go.
We go to get them.
You presented a problem, I gave you a solution.
I'll give him a push mower.
Ooh, weed eater?
There you
So, for most applications, the batwing
You
thing
couldn't
works
put him
great.
enough, I don't think.
My arms are still hurting from running our week.
Yeah. You have a strap?
No, but it's not real heavy one or anything.
But if you hold it for an hour or two,
I didn't do that long, I'm just out of shape.
Kids are all gone, now she's got to start doing all the.
I know.
Exactly, that's exactly true.
Bunch of boys in the family.
Girls can run weed eaters too.
Yeah.
Like daughters.
that's what the strap's for.
These
I'm just so short, you have to tighten the strap up,
I'm gonna have to
so.
get one.
Makes a big
prices,
difference.
That's what we own.
right,
115
those,
and a 125.
they honor those prices, I guess, but that's a long ways away.
But we don't know how much we're gonna get bid on 600 hours on the trade-in.
Right.
And if she's gotta keep this tractor another year, we probably, you guys say the muffler is cracked or something, or
It's big
And so it falls off, smacks the hood, devalues it there, then it goes through the shredder, or it goes through the windshield.
Really blue.
Auto game's ready.
You and Justin, no,
The bush hog shredder, does he have one of those with steel on them?
He needs to know so you get order.
But you need to check to see on that. If Justin wants that one.
I would say he wants the tandem
That's what
walking
it's called.
axles, yeah. But I wanna check with him before I say no or yes, or,
Well, we can be in business if we buy a tractor. Otherwise, we're waiting a year for
Or otherwise you get a tractor with 200 hours.
Right.
Which 200 hours don't scare me, but it's, I don't,
yeah, no matter what,
It's-
unless
it's-
we go green, we're waiting, unless we get a used one and you don't know how anybody's at, were they good to it or did they treat it?
but at 200 hours, if they're gonna give us a 2-year warranty, that's, you're gonna get 1,200 hours out of it. I would think if there was a problem there.
Yeah.
But I want that right, that we get a 2-year factory warranty with that.
Yeah.
That's what makes me wonder if they're still honoring a 2-year warranty, if somebody wasn't using that on their own personal, you know, like a case log or something, or their own tractor. That's why they're still honoring the warranty.
Or maybe
It
that's
never went,
just,
it never went into service. I
right,
don't know how else they could have done it.
or maybe that's just what they're gonna do so that we buy the tractor, somebody buys the tractor.
And the difference here is 4.
From the new one,
Yeah.
yes. It was 4 and 8. New and used,
But it's how much
You might
difference
as well
in it.
spend another 4, just,
have a new tractor.
That's what I
You're probably
say.
gonna get that in the hours.
yeah, but you got 200 hours on tires too. Or less. You know, and you've got 200 less hours on them.
I didn't put tires on that one yet.
That's what I'm looking.
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Yeah, we run over things a lot.
See? So, little tire wore out here in America, when it comes to a deer antler going through the tire.
Well, one time it was a T-post. There was this much of a thing down the ground. It got front and back. That was a good day.
Front and back. Wow, that was an exciting day.
That was like,
Still doesn't beat a tennis ball and a dog.
the dog ate it?
What'd that cost us?
Oh, our dog, yeah, that was
Oh my
34,
God.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what's the
He was,
difference, what's the difference on the green one? It's 108 to buy it out.
right, and if you wanted to do the
And there's allowing us.
buyout for 34,
$28,000.
yeah, 28.
Oh, I was
Or
talking
no,
about
no,
repairs.
75,
70, yeah,
74,000.
74.
I had 74.2 from last week's
Yeah.
meeting.
What is our insurance cost on that tractor? Because they're talking if you lease it, you don't have to pay insurance.
Just reliability, I don't know.
Yeah, we'd have to call and find out.
It's $30,000 difference between the wrestling and the brand new green, and that's for you.
27,994. Between 85 and the 74. Yeah. Green to
What
red,
did I say?
30. 27,994.
Well, we spent $28,000 on repairs on that green tractor over 10 years. So over a 10-year period, that's $2,800 a year.
But if they ruin a tire, if you ruin a
It
tire.
doesn't matter which color tractor it is.
But if you lease it, they're not gonna pay for that.
No.
No, God,
heck
I
no.
didn't think so.
They probably won't do it.
They're
What
a
kind of tractor
14
do you
4-year
have?
lease. You buy it outright.
John Deere, 7130.
What year is it?
20. I think we got it in
Profits was
09,
70,000.
but it wasn't in use
Here.
until
The
10.
green one? So it's 7,000. If you keep it for 10 years, it'd be 7,000. It's another 20.
I think it was the end of 09.
So you see what you
I believe.
so-
Oh, I have this in my PPNC thing.
so Yeah, basically. it costs us about
7/31/09 was when we.
$10,000. She's saying you're on 600 hours? $16.67 an hour. Is what our cost is.
I wasn't looking for what.
Talking about tractor. That's what the total cost is. Last 2 years is $16.63 an hour. You're right, it's 600 hours.
We're real close, we're right around that 600.
That looks- sounds a lot cheaper.
The what?
Now,
The thing with that though, is there's no residuals, you have to keep going back and spraying.
I bet we could find something, the neighbor's flowers might not like it.
Oh no, there's things that you can spray, it won't grow back all year long.
what does your operator feel the same too? Which we unbiased.
He's a little biased, he wasn't super excited,
About the very first one?
yeah.
And the other, even if you went back and got the same face.
Have we had red ones before?
There was one, and it was leased, and it was the same. But that was before. I think there were some issues, and then I think there was some issues. From the paperwork and letters that I read.
What, what tractor did they keep? Don't they have a red one now?
Oh, the one
Really?
down there in Corny, that one's even older than the last red one.
Right, right, but that's what they got now, the red one down there.
Right, that'll throw them down there a long time.
Yeah. I don't even know, I haven't seen the report.
Is that it? They used to have a red one.
It's 48 for the red one. Yeah.
Yep.
And John Deere's 70 or 60.
74, wasn't it?
74.2.
Difference?
2030.
27.9,
Is the difference for the green one?
between the green one and the red one.
That's a new, not that.
That's for the used one. No, that was for the new one.
That was
Let me
for the
ask you a
new, I went
question.
new to new.
In 10 years, when we need another new tractor, what's gonna be the difference in trading on the red one and the green one?
I can't see.
Well, that's what's wrong with today, is there that much difference between the green one and the red one?
Well, obviously, there's probably gonna be, because you're, one of them's 70-some thousand, and the other one's 110.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm just wondering if we have, if we ever wanna go back to green now and get bigger jump to get there.
Right.
Depends on how you're looking at this.
I mean, I'm just-
We're spending other people's money, I guess, where I'm looking at, so the red one, if it does the same job as the green one, I don't have a problem, even with that used one, if they put a warranty on it. I'm not the guy running, I don't know that much.
And then the new one's
Smaller
gonna
tractors.
be 2022.
If we went with the new, it would be next year. Red or blue, the only one new. But if we went green,
Is the price gonna change next year? Because here's the deal with that, you know.
do you
Inflation's
think,
coming.
you think
You got
anything's
price
gonna go
increase,
down?
well,
I know.
no, but I'm just saying, price increases are going on. I can tell you tires just took a 10% hike. They're gonna take another 20% through the summer, so.
Yeah.
And they're putting them on these. It's gonna be a year out, their price, what they're showing it to today, they would think price.
If you lock it in, I think it'd be fine. The thing is, we don't know if you go with the new.
Well,
red one-
is it locked in? That's the question.
I think they will. If you sign.
I
that
think, yeah, I was gonna
contract-
say, if we sign a contract that says we're buying this tractor, when soon as you get in here for this price. I
That's
think
the
we'd be okay.
number.
The only thing we don't know is how bad we're gonna get hurt, put 600 hours on the trade.
Yeah, he didn't give me.
And I bet you if you,
You think maybe $20, I mean, that's probably in the roundabout range.
I would say,
Cost us 16, so probably
You can
20 is
knock-
not too far.
you could knock $10,000 off that really quick.
Yeah,
yeah, if we put 600 more hours on it in a year at $20,
it's 12,000. And you're talking, that makes a difference, that'd be 16 between the used one and the new one difference, and then. That make it Was it John Deere out that far too?
No.
Or is it just
June.
June.
June?
It says this one, June, unless we keep waiting, then they'll give it to somebody else.
I don't think leasing's the way to go. I'll let you guys know.
I don't know if that's the
I just soon own it, be done with that, but I don't know. What, do you got enough in your budget or your capital outlay, whatever you?
I have almost enough to buy everything now, like, almost. I'm at like 104.
Oh, that's not traded in, isn't it?
She's giving me this, what she got?
No, I know I have 104,
No, I don't know.
916.
She's
I was
giving the,
I was just trying to think how much she was talking for the mower and
No, yeah, I have 104
trying to.
in my noxious weed.
The shredders are around 11 trade in and then the,
that's about 86 roughly.
Yeah, I'm looking at 85, I could, yeah, and then if I like that. Just in case my truck breaks down, my spray rig, or
I don't know for the tractor tree.
I think there was a preference towards green.
The green one. It could be.
but it's another $30,000.
Well, then tell me what I'm getting.
That's in my opinion. I'm waiting on Scobie to say what he's thinking.
I'd say get that bush hog and let.
Green in the bush hog?
I don't like buying a used tractor.
I'm fine with that.
I don't like the price difference, I'll tell you that.
Well, no. And there is a price difference, and I'm hoping we're gonna get value out of it. My,
That's what what I wonder is, if we're sitting 10 years from today, instead of getting 34 for the green, are we gonna get like 12 for the red? You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to figure. Are you spending it now but getting it back later,
I
or
don't
is
have a
it?
crystal ball.
I don't know.
yeah, that's the hard part.
Typically, John Deere stuff does hold its value better, but when you look at the trade-in on that green one, it looks like everybody was just about the same on what they thought it was worth. It's not like anybody wants it worse than somebody else. I mean, they must just have a flat rate they use for hours, and that's,
Yeah, well, and there is the option that we don't trade it in and we sell it on auction, and get more. because I mean, I was talking about.
Might be worth about 50.
That's what your tractor company is. If your tractor's really worth 50, but for them to make money, you know, they can't fix 50.
Well, they gotta make money, they gotta do
Yeah,
it.
they're a business, I get it.
and I don't have a problem doing that either, because I know Kuckelman has some stuff, he wouldn't mind putting together with a big iron auction sometime.
That's what he said. I'd like to do it sooner than later if my tractor's not on there, put that kind of budget.
But we can't really advertise that until you get your new one.
Right. No, I agree with you. But if we get this in June, then
You're gonna go over that capital outlay to do that.
that's,
You have to shift some funds around and then put it back to your own.
Can she be negative for,
or I could probably do a finance thing where I pay half of it and then make
30,
another,
69 or something, so think of that. Do that
yeah,
with this.
do, yeah, something like that. Half and half or something.
I didn't know, like, you could pay what you could out of your capital outlay and then pay the rest just out of noxious weed. And then when you sell the other
put it
one,
back.
you
Put it back
put it
in
back
the
in
noxious
noxious
weed.
weed.
Can I do that?
is this
Yeah,
too much
you
of a
can do that.
gamble?
Okay.
But as long as you, that.
So it is for me.
Sell the
I
tractor.
mean, everybody knows what this tractor's been used for.
Yeah.
And I, you know, that might work on a big iron thing, but it might not. We know here.
I think people that buy tractors on big iron are looking for something that's not, you know, showcase ready. They're gonna take it out and they're gonna take it in their fashion.
You got his number?
Well, yeah, but.
Ask him when to run. Might give you an idea of kind of market value, what you get at the record. My guess is you probably get around in the 40s, a little bit more than traded value.
For what did they offer us on trade?
That's
34.
34,
34, 38.
and then the other ones are 38. They're all right.
You know, you gotta need to fix all the little stuff that's wrong with it, if you're gonna be trying to get top dollar out of it, and who knows, that might be a $3,000 buffer on some of this stuff, you never know.
You can get to 10 pretty easy on just fixes.
I know if it was mine, I know what I would do, but where I'm using other people's money, I have a hard time selling
Yeah.
anything. I just soon trade it in,
Call
be done with it. I know we could probably, you're right, we probably could sell it and get more money out of it, but if we don't, then we're gonna look like fools here, we only get
Well,
20,000.
yeah, it's a gamble. An auction isn't guaranteed.
And we can't put a floor on it. I mean, it's,
No. Well, I'll make a motion to buy this tractor and the bush hog.
I'll second the motion.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Motion carried. So you'll talk to those guys,
Wow.
I'm assuming?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, okay.
Jason, did you second that?
Yes.
What else?
It's too windy to spray, so I'm not doing that.
Chemical going
I
out the
just met
door?
the spray truck going down the road.
Yeah, he's gonna help Adam today.
Oh, is it?
Bigger
Oh.
truck, less people hitting you.
All those guys that gotta drive their pickups on everything?
No, they usually ride together. I think it was just an odd numbers. I know, like, Jerry and Pat rode together, and sometimes they get in their pedal real tight. They like each other. No, but yeah, it helps to have a big truck when you're standing out on the side of the road. And people are so smart.
There's a lot of room there.
Got enough chemical, non-chemical.
Trying to help for the summer.
I think I'm gonna run my ad again. So I have one kid he was there before, he's gonna come back. So I have one,
There before, as in worked for you before?
Yes.
I see.
worked for me, I think 2 years now. So this will be his third. I did have him back. I have another one that is a maybe, he'd come back, but when I only have one other application, and he's not an experienced driver, and that's the
Yeah, okay. Well, if you want to run another ad, why do it and bring us a recommendation?
reason. Then we'll talk about, whenever I know who I've got, wages.
And after having just bought a tractor and a shredder, I've talked to guys that at some counties, they're spraying that suppressant on their roadsides.
The chemical mow, or is that what
Yes,
you're talking about?
Yes.
Well, but when you do that, you gotta think about, are you close to crops? Where is the runoff gonna go? There's so many things you have to think about. When I'm just gonna spot spray, hit the issue and move on, there's so much less liability to worry about.
It doesn't.
It doesn't kill it, it just stunts it.
Right. Mhm. They've been working on, the turf grass guys.
Then what are the state mowers gonna do?
Yeah. And the guys that I've done that, they're out there, most of them in western Kansas.
Wide open
Wide
plains.
open, yeah, it's a different deal, but I know those guys that I've talked to, they love it. They love it, but it's different out there.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of knowledge on it. It's just one of those things though that, where you're around crops, you hate to be spraying a solid spray, have a good rain come in, and I mean, that's always an option, is moving your chemicals, so.
Yeah, and I think that not just, the turf grass guys been working on that forever, to get that bluegrass and
Yeah,
get it up,
short, so.
get that tall. And looks great, stays
Buffalo
great.
grass doesn't get tall. It's something to think about, but I don't know.
It,
You have to think
Well,
about all the things that go with it too.
that 2-inch rain, after you've been over.
It's one thing when I turn off the sprayer and then there's sprinkles and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
don't do it.
gonna be a big mess in a hurry.
Yeah, it could be. Gotta take in all the factors in, so.
Okay, Mixie, thanks.
Yeah.
What else? Well,
That was for me.
okay.
Maybe what I need to.
Yeah, have fun.
Just think about that, that John Deere, over that 10-year period, the actual total cost per year would be $6,700. So per hour, pretty cheap. What we got out of that tractor, actually.
Usually ends up that way.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Nobody's hard on it, I yell at.
Well, I used to, I told you that when I went out to shred, and I always busted something. I came in at noon one time, and I told my wife, I'm almost done, I haven't broke anything yet.
She says, don't say
I
it.
got a little bit more to do, I'm gonna go do it, and I'm taking that shredder off. So the place I went, I wrapped one of the old braided, guide wires, wrapped that around there, and I went boom, boom, and up and busted out the back window of the truck.
Oh, my God.
I just let things that hit me in the head.
Yeah.
You have to wear a
It
helmet.
could have killed me, yeah. So, anyhow,
When it knows
that's just
it's
one of,
inside.
I got 100 of those stories. I tear something up.
And I might connect with you about how we're gonna do this. I'll
Maintenance,
talk to
everything.
them all I want.
The difference when we traded it in,
That
that's
sounds
We'll figure out how
Yeah, I
we're
think
gonna
I
pay
can
it,
figure it out.
and then we'll figure out.
pretty cheap.
I'd say those suspension things, use your own judgment.
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
fine, whatever, talk to him and whatever
Yeah.
you order, just tell Gary, just conversation with him.
Yeah, if it's something that he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me, then I'll be like, let's save a little bit of money.
But if that thing, you know, you're gonna hit ditches and stuff with that thing, that suspension might save you a bunch of welds and stick.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Yeah. Now, do you guys know that Rich and Bob are both at training?
Oh,
And so
we'll be
he
in.
said Darren may stop in. But he said, of course, if you have any questions for him or anything, you can always call.
Okay, no, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, they're
Right.
both at
We
training.
want Diane room,
What's that?
we want Diane room.
I can see if she can.
Let's start going through this, which corner. comes around here.
Yeah, well, we got these to do too, so we can handle those.
Sandy's got a lot of information.
Who?
Sandy, she's a great.
Hey, Marie, this is Mary Kay.
Oh,
Hey, the commissioners were just wondering if you guys wanted to come a little earlier today. Okay.
I did not have a meeting.
Yeah, if unless you have
This week,
something
Shane
to wait
called and
on.
said there wasn't a
because
whole lot
I
going
don't
on,
think anybody
so
from the sheriff's office is
I
speaking.
think maybe this week, maybe if there's anything going on, we
Yeah,
might get
perfect.
together, but
Thanks.
I live down in this county, right, and I think on Marshall County, there's kind of one there.
Is that a done deal over there? They-
Sounds like they got all their agreements and everything pretty well signed now, so I think it's just a matter of getting everything lined up and getting started.
Do you have an idea how long that project would take on our side of the
They're still trying to find who's gonna actually do the work. They thought they had somebody in mind, but they haven't signed a contract yet. And that was 3 weeks ago, whenever they had our last meeting.
oh, they don't have a contractor to put this.
They had a name, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like they had everything finalized there either.
Well, they had somebody clear trees and stuff, they had a
Yeah.
contractor doing that, they still working on that?
They're
or-
about done. I still see a truck go by now and then.
A few more here. Sorry. Is that-
They're nuts, so.
is that too cool? You have to let me know if it gets too cool. and shut it. Open it.
Oh, we don't know. Feels
Oh,
good,
okay, no,
fresh air.
Kind of stuffy.
So I,
I don't think we can run the air yet. It hasn't been switched over.
I wondered when I walked in this morning if he,
I don't think he has. 'Cause I'm sure we were running the heat last week. Mornings.
I talked to
See that?
Kathy for a minute and asked about what we've got in the pilot money specifically. She said Janelle would be the one to talk to. But you might, if you would, put that when you see her this week, that's where she carried that up.
Okay.
Because we pretty much spent all that down there finishing that up.
That was 300,000 or
I
something
can,
too last week.
Maybe you can find that.
So we paid that to Hall Brothers on the 15th, right?
Yes.
Hi, Darren.
Guys and gal, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm just making Rich's appearance. I wanted to make sure I stopped in to make sure you didn't have anything to pleasure us with.
Where are they at, Hutch?
Yeah, I
That
think
training?
Yeah, I think it's an annual sheriff's conference they go to. So, nope. had
So they
6
left
in.
y'all alone. Are they crazy?
I told them we were all getting pay raises when they came back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's not have that conversation.
Come on, where's your sense of adventure?
As long as you include me on that.
No, all of us, countywide. Caught the commissioners in a moment.
Never mind the
You're gonna have
fact
to
that I
drive
have
us
my
all
hand
home.
tied behind that.
Yeah,
We can arrange that.
she's got us cuffed. That's what she got.
She just tripped you as you ran out the door.
Yeah. So quiet
Yep.
in general, that's good. We like quiet.
Yeah.
Holding 6, you said?
So, yep. That's all we have. You guys
They-
keep up the good work.
No, cars, you probably don't know.
I don't think they showed up yet. We all have them called yet this morning to say they're in. So, no, they're not here. They'll probably be late because they're waiting on the computer chips like everybody else.
Who's getting the new rides? You guys draw cards for that?
No, Indian Day.
Okay.
No, we're on a rotation. So it's
Not
every,
bringing Bree's not coming over today.
usually it's every 4 years. I think that's when you schedule to get them. And then yeah, those two.
See, for some reason, brought up about the dogs eating tennis balls, so haven't had that problem again.
Just a paper towel this morning on the car stop. That passed just fine.
Well, mine eats rocks.
Do you ever
so-
feed that dog?
I do. They're just not really intelligent animals.
Well, a dog's
Not
still
in
a
regards to
dog.
what it's gonna eat anyway.
No.
Maybe smart in other means, but.
Pretty much anything that's disgusting. Oh, my dog kisses me, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Where else has that tongue been?
Yeah.
We don't wanna know.
Yeah, there's a reason that people think they're so clean.
Yeah.
Nope, that's all we have.
Okay, well, thanks for stopping in.
You guys have a
Gary.
good week.
Yeah, you too. Be careful.
Hey Gary, so, yeah, I can see the payment of 316,000.
That came across here, yeah.
That's in here, and the cash in that account is still 979,707.
Which account we're in?
Soldier Creek Wind Farm.
979.
You know, the rest of it, 707.79.
So then something
So that
else.
should be with, you
Is that
know,
in general or was that?
no, it's in its own fund. It's a 479.
So Kathy. should-
But your paperwork, Dylan, will probably not show that last payment, so you probably have more than that, I'm guessing. You probably have about $300,000 more than that.
1.2.
Fund number 470.
479.
Let's see.
So, I guess Kathy, well, you can probably look that up too, how much we paid Bird Camp over the last 2 or 3 years to use that. And we talked to Diane and talked about that.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm
Hi,
good,
Diane.
guys. I had emailed you the Masters bid for our van at the door. KDOT's gonna pay that 100%. They've already approved that expenditure, so won't have any county funds expended. And then, also the white Sabetha van. I finally got the insurance taken care of that. Since we got that van free, I did confirm that we were still able to get that 80-20 split. KDOT will get 80, we will get still, even though it was a free vehicle, we still get that 20,000, or 20%. It was $21,717. This is KDOT split versus $17,373.
So they give me 20% of the value of the car.
Yeah. And I'm keeping the email, and so we're gonna get, 4340. So that will go to these vehicles that will be getting, the replacement for that one, which is really close to the county match. Cause I think we pay about 7 for each vehicle, so y'all like that.
Oh, it was a snowstorm incident.
That was the whiteout where the semi swiped him and it just didn't even stop, but you know, those things sometimes happen.
And what vehicle, you said a door repair, the first
Yeah.
time item that you have?
You may ask, yeah. The vents on there and everything, that's one of our, earlier fleet.
And then did your other paperwork have that amount you just said?
I do. Right there.
And then I'll give this back to you, okay?
Okay, so other than that, that's all I really have to date. No, our numbers are still increasing. We had about mid-20s in Sabetha and lower 30s last week, and then still 58 pickups
At
and
the,
60-ish
at the building.
deliveries, so,
So you're getting people coming
oh,
in?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially roast beef days. Everyone loves roast beef days, so we have a high number on those days, but yeah, they're loving being there. And, so yeah, like, it's getting back to normal a little bit, so that's very promising.
The little pickup you got, you get all your mud flaps and
We
stuff,
did, we
everything put on it,
did, everything's good for that, of course, you know, and they donated that, and then fridges were also all repaired, so
Oh, you got them back up and going?
fingers crossed,
Big deal.
you know, so yeah, we're good to go. So that helps, having that second freezer is gonna help, and with our frozen program significantly. Because that was the big part, is we didn't have freezer space, because you have to freeze 7 meals for each participant a week ahead of time, so those do stack up after a while. And Linda's completely back, opened. I think she has a couple still, they're doing some pickups, and that's okay. We want people to feel comfortable coming back, but majority of Quill people have already came back and started dining. So things are good, looking up.
We get reimbursed for that camera.
Say again?
We get reimbursed for that
I
camera.
emailed, the dentist guy from community, yeah, and I haven't heard back from him, so I will shoot them another email this week. Yeah, I mean, it's only $70, but it's their issue. They were the ones that the
Put it
cameras
in.
were failing in, and so, yeah, they're supposed to.
Do you know what type of vehicle, what, make and model, or whatever that was?
It would be a Dodge Caravan. We use all our vans, and I do actually
And I have
have
it on
this
this-
here.
Okay, are they, if you, that's probably different
I can
instruction.
I think this
So
is
this is the one that was
Yes.
towed,
Dodge Caravan, which is
and
right.
year
Year
15,
15, yeah,
that's what I needed.
sounds good.
But, you mentioned roast beef, on the national level, what they're doing with, bovine. There won't be any bovine killed in this country that's less than 5 years old.
That's gonna taste good.
Really?
Where's the
Interesting.
direction we're headed?
Where did you come across
I think I got it all.
Okay.
What the whole deal. Anyhow, but
Yeah,
neither
any
here nor
other
there,
questions that
but,
you guys got for me today? Awesome, sounds good. Well, y'all have a good week.
Okay, great, thanks, Diane.
There.
Thank you, Diane.
Thanks for coming in early. Appreciate it.
We have 900,000 in that cemetery. Is
970, about 975.
that 300 and some, the last bid on E-Road?
That was the last payment, that
Okay.
they made, yeah, the Hall Brothers. Earlier this month.
So we can do the chip and seal, that leaves us, that'll cover the road and bridges budget. That 37 miles, it leaves us 900,000. on whatever road or roads.
Well,
He's been buying a lot of rock. He kinda asked me the other day who kinda keeps track of his budget. Is that his job?
Yeah.
Or he,
Yeah,
well, I mean,
we provide them monthly reports.
where he's kinda interim, you know, he
Yeah.
Yeah,
he kinda expressed concern the other day to me about it. I didn't
And I
get in trouble
know-
for
I know
buying rock.
Kathy kind of really checks to see that, you know, that
Well,
that everything that was paid, you know, that we didn't hit the wrong, her fund and error, you know, at some point, she'll say, okay, I recognize this payment, and she'll make sure that she matches us.
I mean, we get approved to do this 37 miles, right? Chicken seal is 37 miles. But I mean, he's got approval to buy it, so he's short, that's on our side. Stuff around it shouldn't be.
well, that's just, I mean, that's what we've been doing the last several years, is we included that in his budget. This 979 is pilot money, and then something you might look up is what we paid Bird Camp the
That's what
last,
I'm doing that right now.
but, which has been in that 600 to 800, not sure if I'm there. And so in my mind, thinking that's budgeted for, is there and available. If we don't do that, like we'd originally planned on the Gulf Oneida Road, we would do 6 miles of that, which is 131 a mile. Then it is.
Yeah.
Depends on what you talk about, the concrete?
The concrete.
Yes, the concrete, yeah,
Yeah.
just the concrete, yeah. 120 or 30 a mile, so if you do 6 miles, you're in that 700,000 range. If we don't do that and add that to this 979, then we've got, you know, 1.5, yeah.
Just
That
to-
would do that for us.
Well,
Or you think
I'm
so?
hopeful, but I don't
But we
think.
gotta wait to see what happens in Stringtown. See if the state will pick up part of that tab, if that's gonna be their detour. Don't forget about that.
So it looks like I got 17, 18, 19, and 20. And that's the grand total.
17, 18, 19, and 20. So that's 4 years.
So I don't know, my records should go back further than that, because we switched to CIC in like 2014, so I think that was just the first time we used it. Was in
19
17.
and 20. Divided by 4, 872. So take that, what's 872? 872. 1. That's 1.8.
If it's 1,600 a mile, or 160,000 miles, for 3 inch like you're saying, or 4 inch.
I think that's 2 lifts of an inch and a half. Isn't that
The
right?
first one gets a little thick and they gotta.
And it's
fill it.
12 miles?
Yeah.
1.9.
1.8, so. It'd sure be nice to do both things.
We got a capital outlay some money.
Oh, we could come up with, I think, and possibly out of road and bridge budget.
Don't forget about Stringtown.
Right, and there's still, guess until those guys.
How long is that gonna be? That was like a year.
Next March, I think, when they're starting on that. So if we're gonna do it, we gotta get it done this year.
So we're wanting to put an overlay on that.
I was hoping the state would pick up that, but I don't know.
We'll get a conversation on it too.
Well, they figure it ass.
A reminder.
A friendly reminder.
How many miles is that? A mile and a half, 2 miles?
No, like, 3 times 5 miles. 22.
That's 800,000.
Five and 3, 8. No, that's 6 miles more. That's right.
1.2.
I'm gonna make the other half of it, so if we can get it on 6 times 5.
Yeah.
I don't know what the state's think. I don't know what they did the last time.
Well, if they're deeps and stuff, they,
How much they pay on the one? They pay half of a 4-inch overlay. So if you like pay for a 2-inch, we'll pay for a 2-inch. This is all of that bridge, north to Central.
There's 2 of them in there.
But that's.
Yeah, they're gonna have 187 shut completely down. That's what we was talking about. And I don't know if the state would feel obligated to go for them other 2 miles on Stringtown that go from Knightdale or whatever, on over to the east, back to 63, they might not feel obligated to pay for that 2 miles. If they can cut it up.
And gosh, how long is that gonna be down?
187.
Yes.
It made it sound like most of next summer.
Well, I kinda had in my mind, it was gonna be almost a year. I don't know where I got that, but then going,
I don't know if you really
I've
hear
seen
the
one.
definite timeline, did you?
some reason it's like 2022.
it was next year before they were gonna start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that in March, you think he was here? I guess I can look at February or first.
It's right before the March.
I asked Adam about that today. He texted me the other day and said he needed a couple more people to go on the dust control, so he
There
had
it is,
2
Gary.
full loads.
Yes,
So you
maybe
count
we're
the cities
talking
and
about 6
trillion
to 8 months.
I think so.
6 to 8 months.
So that'd be the most. They
Most
start
of
in
the
the
year.
spring.
And they might, I mean, or telling them, if they start early, they're gonna screw up spring planting. But if they start after spring planting, they're gonna screw up harvest, so.
Just gonna have to work around it.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll
Probably need to sign some vouchers.
surprise us.
Did you sign yours?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've seen it yet, have I?
He is 850 feet short of having 2 full loads, so he changed the price that much.
What now?
On the dust control,
Oh,
he needs another 850 feet to get 2 full loads. He also, I forgot to ask him about that too. The city of Corning must be repaving some of the roads, and I guess that's a county road that runs through Corning, in front of the shop, and goes around by the elevator. And I guess he had a bid on them to repave that while these guys are in town doing the rest of the streets. And then he said it was $20,000 or something over like while they was there.
But that's actually a county road.
That's what he said. I guess I didn't know that.
well, that'd be an Adam question, whether, have we been doing that? And if so, they had a contractor, I'm assuming, to do the rest there, and, yeah. That'd be something to ask Adam, if he would know, if we've been doing that, and if so, we might go, well, I guess when they be down there in that neighborhood with stuff, our guys, chip
Just have to chip and seal it.
Yeah.
I don't know what his concern was about. I don't know. You need to talk to him on it.
Yeah, well, remind me, we'll ask Adam about that. If they're right there, that makes a difference. They got stage stuff for that, why it might.
And maybe he don't think he can do it any cheaper than what they're doing.
Right. So you said that bird camp, this was, 800 some,
872.
872 for the year.
I know Adam has seen that. Off the matter, pretty good. Didn't think that really needed to
Well, I
change.
don't think it's his top priority. I think there's other things that he
Let's
wants to.
get it done first.
I drove it, it's rough in spots, but it's not like the bottom's falling out of it.
Right. It's
And it's been kind of, no offense, it's been kind of an experiment in the county. See, like we do something, and then it don't work, and we do something again, and it don't work. And that's why I haven't said just leave it alone for now, to get some of the other things done, fixed up.
yeah. If we could- Well, and cars per day, I've got that.
We got that sheet.
Yeah, I got it right here too.
I was thinking.
And there's more than twice as many on the Burn Road as there is that road, is that?
Yeah, Burn catches quite a bit of traffic.
Up north of that, got 220 vehicles, but Burn Road's one section of it's
1200,
11 something.
1265.
1265, almost 1300.
So here's 230, yeah, there's that. So there'd be the Gulf 190 road, yeah. Well, how many miles would that be south?
A couple miles.
Yeah, 150 there. On south end, that'd be the Kelly Road, 368 there. But there's coming out of
That's probably a big number.
Savannah, yeah.
And get Mary Kay, that's where you get work on.
Supposed to be that. So, This is the big.
Well, I was gonna say, you know,
Yeah.
dust, if you really need more feet for dust control, you can put it in front of my house, but
But you're not
of
paying
course
for
the
it.
county's gonna pay that.
So is that isn't this the Snake Road right down here? Those guys, I wonder, were they in on that? I wonder, I think we did that last year, didn't we? Or it was
It was
done.
either
We didn't
last
pay
year or
for
the year
it,
before.
but, yeah. Wonder if they're part of it. They're probably holding us hostage unless they get a couple more, unless they get another 100 feet, they're probably not coming.
I
Do
don't know.
we use any down there in the community building? Keep that dust from rolling around on people?
Ours?
Summer, the fair, and
I don't think we've ever put it on there.
No, people, I mean, they're not driving fast enough to get too crazy there.
I don't know if they would show up, they might just change the price of everybody else who's already paid for it, if you gotta.
Do a lesser amount.
Well, it's something else, guess, ask Adam. See, you got the open for me, so I don't forget to do that again. Then there's that's for that sheetrock down there. Benefit goals. Have we done anything, Mary Kay, about townships and having them be responsible for their own budget?
I have found out, now from municipal services, and I've got that in writing, that, she feels too that should be their responsibility, not, you know what I mean, not our
Not after you gave us,
office,
that was
my
a
office.
3-year, wasn't it?
And
Then it's the
so-
township's responsibility.
And so I did, I actually reached out to Mary to see if she would want to do it on her own and charge the townships for it. But I don't think she's interested in doing that. So I will get a letter sent out letting them know. I only have one other name. This lady's name is Carolyn Brock. She does several cities' budgets, like City of Corning, City of Gulf, some of our small cities. She does their budgets. So I'll give them their contact information, but, I mean, you don't have to be a CPA.
Right, yeah.
So there should be, I know a lot of them already use like an accounting firm to help with, any W-9s or 1099s they have to send out, anything like that, and maybe able to get them to do that too. So I will probably get that out this week
Okay.
to the townships.
And this lady you were talking about, you talked to her.
I heard from the state, yeah, Stacy Jaramillo, if I'm saying her last name right. She's with Municipal Services. Same department that does our budget training.
This other lady, you talked to somebody that might potentially be interested in doing
Well,
that?
I just said that
for
this lady currently does some cities' budgets.
I see.
And so I was gonna give them her contact information.
But she's indicated to you that she might be interested in
No,
that?
not really. I haven't
Okay.
talked to her. I don't know if she's interested in taking on
Right.
anymore.
I
But
see.
I know she already does that kind of work.
Right. I took her name on
Okay.
that.
Okay, yeah,
I mean, don't even tell you what to do,
yeah,
but,
I can do
I
that.
mean, I guess I hate to have her name on there and say, I don't wanna do that.
Yeah.
You know,
I can do that.
but that,
Cause I need to look for that anyway, her information.
Yeah. well, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yep, I will do that.
We got paid already?
Not quite yet, but
No.
it's Friday.
Coming from Rainbow.
Not yet.
Yeah. That just been 2 weeks ago.
When we talked about last week getting like contractors emails or whatever, if we wanted to do work, have you had any much interest in that? Cause I talked to
I
a few
haven't
people
really
that said
done
that
much
they would
with
be
that
more than happy to get their email to you to.
Okay,
No, I haven't,
I haven't done too much with that
That's
yet.
fine, I just,
Let's see. That's what
instead of trying to call people, everything, you send out an email, that gives them a chance, if they wanna bid it, they can, if not, get out of here.
Wondered who you were talking to.
That's the judge. I think that's still the only one.
and that's, that, for that ceiling in Anson's office. I talked to him over there in Sabetha, there's some guys, but, well, I got kind of a small job at my house. And, getting materials is gonna take 6 months. And he said, well, that's good, because that's how long it's gonna take me to get there. So,
Yeah. So this is basically what we got. Okay.
where's this guy from?
713.
Still gotta get somebody in there to spray it on.
June 5th?
Yeah, I think, isn't, they have the one out here, I just heard down.
Yeah, they usually do catbackers. Yeah, usually.
This and
I think there's another one.
There's an
somebody this
NCTC
weekend.
one.
didn't I
Is
hear?
that what's-
NCTC, is
It's
that
like
who it
the
was?
first weekend of May, I
Yeah.
think.
Heard on the radio.
Not sure if it's this weekend or the following weekend.
Yeah.
Play golf, Jason?
I'm a pretty boring guy.
You don't have a lot of time for hobbies right now.
Yeah. I got them out, they're coming your way.
Told you we need to hurry up, get out of here before she's bringing us more slips.
Hopefully they're about done.
It should be about all the yellow ones on. There'll be some pink, but you
I was
could.
gonna say, there'll be some pinks again, won't there?
If you wanted to wait, there'll be some more next week that haven't come yet. We could do them all next week.
So, it's only 10:40, so.
About 600,000 miles a year later for that equipment. That's about 1.2.
You gotta feel it.
So long as he works around the clock, the other one takes out a 40-hour week.
What's your time in this department?
No, that's-
Oh, I was gonna say.
No, but I was just looking at it, that's about 16,000 a year in wages. Yeah. Big numbers here.
Yeah. See, we have we approved a $12 million budget.
Something like that.
11 and a half or 12.
13.9,
Oh.
with everything.
That's what I was thinking, it was close to 14.
But, you know, on the funds that are not levied, that's allowing them to spend more than probably what they're gonna actually spend. It just gives the budget authority at that level. Usually, they usually don't spend.
I don't know where the balance comes in, if they benefit, first, hire another employee, and how that all works. How did Paul get along?
Pretty good, I think.
Saw her going to church yesterday.
That was weird, we didn't have mass till 5 o'clock last night, see that in Bolton? Father was celebrating his 30th
Oh, it was
year of
anniversary.
ordination, yeah, and so we didn't have our 8 o'clock mass like we were supposed to, we didn't have it till 5 o'clock last night. God, that seems strange.
What to have at that time of day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in the morning, I'm like, okay,
I feel like it's Saturday. 'cause
I know, I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing something, what am I supposed to be doing Sunday morning? And then it got later and I'm like, I gotta remember that I gotta go do that yet. I gotta play the organ yet.
Out there in the hall.
Just decorative, they were old, metal ballot boxes, and we used to use, and she painted them, and, was using them for decoration.
So your ballot box out there in the front, you lock that thing shut.
Yeah.
Nothing goes in
Right.
there.
Says kiosk is closed, you can't put anything in there. So we go out and remove that door.
Mhm. There'll be potentially a primary in August.
Potentially, but
What's going on?
not likely. So the only way we would have you can't rule it out, but, because they still have until June 1st to file. But the only way we would have one is like, so for a school board position, we'd have to have at least 4 people file for the same position to have a primary.
It doesn't go by, party?
No, this
No party.
coming election's not.
So you gotta have
somebody's
3
fault. So
or 4?
you have to have 4. And,
Really?
I mean, that's just not very likely.
Right.
In our county. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but. So we're kind of hoping, I'm guessing that early November.
But there are geographic lines you have to abide by for those school board positions.
Right, there's different member districts, right, but still, I mean, it's hard for them to get people
Right.
to file.
So what else is there then? Some school
There's-
board positions and what else
And then
is?
some city council, mayor positions, treasurer for city center.
That all comes through here.
Yeah, we still
Out there,
have to
the
do
local
that.
guys take care of it.
I don't know why that is for sure.
You're still in awe.
I got rid of the y'all, now I'm just in shock.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you guys will get in on your first canvas. Canvas ballots.
November.
It's an action-packed thriller. But this will be a pretty easy one to start with.
Yeah,
Not like last
think-
election.
the thing that makes this one more difficult is because of the lines, we end up with more ballot styles. So I'm saying like
I bet that's right.
Adams Township doesn't just have one ballot, because there's one for if you live in the 113 school district or you're in
Right.
the 115 school district. So there's two ballots. So when you go down that tape, they're gonna get results for one style first and then the other style.
So I guess in that example, as an example, Rock Creek Township, there's 113 in Brown County, they'd have to be on their ballot.
Yes. That's correct. And then we have to compile, we are the home county for 113, so they will send us their
Did you look
results
at this one?
and we'll make the official certification to the school district.
So we don't, I don't ever remember looking at that in here at this desk when we canvassed.
Probably did.
You just take care of that, you and
Yeah,
Deanne.
and then they, like Brown County would canvass their own votes.
But I guess I'm still confused.
From
They
one
canvass them,
Department.
right, and then they
And
get
then
them
they
to you.
certify,
I see.
then they certify on a piece of paper what the results were to us. And the only thing we do is add those to our totals.
Tabulate, so over there, if that were any close race, until you get those results, you don't know the winners of those.
Yeah, if it's close,
Oh, I think
because,
I know, I got this.
like in Jackson, you're just talking a minimal amount of
Mhm.
113
Votes,
voters, because that's just all the registered voters.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, if it's close, it's true.
I got this.
What do you guys think about closing the recycling place down on weekends?
I have a note on that.
I haven't had, nobody said a word to me this week, but my district kind of. I'm not saying people in my district don't use it, but.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from anybody, so.
I talked to Diane about it, and she said she got it. I said, well, what about, if it's 10 below zero, I'm not gonna be doing stuff up. She said, well, she talked to Joe, and she said, they actually used to do that, and what time they closed down.
Well, that's what I didn't know, what would happen if we went by appointment only. Somebody had a big, I don't want them to go out there and open up because somebody needs to get rid of a mattress, but, if there's something big going on, somebody's demoing a house, for instance, and they need.
I was wondering if we did, just have one person come in, like, say, instead of 8, come in at 9 or 10, and stay till 6 on a Friday. Stay open 2 hours later on Friday, we can get your stuff, after work, and get it done if you need to.
I still think if you want to bring it out there, if you could call, make an appointment, or maybe you want to go every other week.
Is there like a bin we could just stick out there? Come north of
They
there,
never weigh everything.
you know? Yeah, get across, I told her to start counting on Saturdays, how many, if it's $100, you guys kind of figured you're not really making any money.
I haven't had that list last week.
Yeah. Oh, did he have how many people were coming in on a Saturday? It's like if one person comes in,
Yeah.
and it's $100 deal versus 30 people.
That box better be empty.
There's not much, and if you don't want them till next week, I don't care.
We'll take it next week.
Take them next week, because
Oh,
there'll be a lot more
yeah,
added
let's
to
do
them.
them.
We got time.
Yeah, let's do them.
See what I'm saying? There's not much. That's it.
Yeah.
So there'll still be quite a few next week that'll come in yet, so just so you know. And here's the box, you can start.
Yeah, okay, thank you, yeah.
It's getting a little warm.
Yeah,
Right,
we
yeah,
can
the
put some, what was I gonna say? Oh, well, yeah, is there enough stuff brought in to pay for the labor? No, or there may not be, but it's a service that we provide, and everybody knows they can now. Does that mean we don't stop it? No, but I don't know, to keep track of what happens this summer for the next few months, and we'll see.
I agree with you. You got it there. You don't want to see people start dumping on the side of the roads and in ditches and such, but I mean, I think everybody's got enough time off anymore.
They open till noon, right?
On Saturdays, 8 to noon.
8 to noon.
So we could change the schedule. I know they're going on a rotation every 5 weeks, so one would have to do it, but what about on that fifth week, they come in Monday after lunch and work on Saturday. You know, we have to worry about that overtime, and then they'll get the 4 hours back.
People that work Saturday morning want to be compensated for it, because it ruined your whole damn weekend. It'd be, just a half a day off on a Monday, it probably really ain't. Not the same as having your whole Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, and then doesn't that get into, I'm gonna say workers' comp, I don't know if that's right, but we used to do that, somebody who worked,
You gotta have, I think you gotta have 2 people there, don't you? Need to.
No.
Are they
No.
running backwards? It's just Wayne and.
I don't know if they really do much other than just unload it. They probably just sort
Right.
of. That's why I don't know why we even need to have it open.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you had a big deal, appointment only.
Well, she said that the big guys, they've been working around it pretty good. They don't see
Right.
them much on Saturday.
That's what I mean.
That's kind of why we kept it going at one time, because especially on
For
a
those
Monday
guys.
holiday,
Yeah.
they needed to dump on Saturday in order to get by on Monday. And they were used to going in on Saturday and then not Monday. Yeah, I don't want to go in on Monday either. National holiday.
I mean, you can always do it and see if you get much for you.
Well, man, I don't know, I guess, the closing over the winter sounds good, but when you start messing with the schedule, and somebody shows up out there middle of November and nobody's there in November
I think that once you start it, you're gonna have to make it continuous.
yeah, either quit it all together or if they close at 4, is that right?
Yeah.
They're open from 8 to 4.
Well, actually, this says 8:30 to 4,
Okay.
is what this says. Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4, Saturday, 8:30 to noon.
So, when they're all there at 8.
Yeah, but I think as far as being able to dump.
You look at this here.
Yes. Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second them.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried.
Handyman, you want to do this, you wanna accept this bid and go ahead and get it done, or?
Anson didn't seem that concerned about it, I guess.
What?
His judge, or his
He
office.
wasn't too concerned about it, or?
I didn't do anything in this, we did the ceiling in the
Corwin.
big room, didn't we?
Right.
Is there anything needs done in the judge's chambers, well, not Anson, but on the north side there? Something need done in there too?
That's where the brick was all busted out and looked like it was leaking through the window.
Right, but the ceiling itself, was there something
Yeah,
wrong in
I'm just
there?
not sure.
I
I
think it's,
have a feeling, I bet you it's still like this. But
yeah.
maybe it's just not falling off, it's
Yeah.
like it is in Anson's
Well,
office.
Maybe we ought to go on a field trip, go down there and look.
Not today.
Well, yeah.
No, we don't have to do it today, but, do we, yeah, do we need to do something in there? And if so, if you got a lot more to do, we get more players than just
Yeah.
have one office.
What do you guys normally do on stuff like this?
Well, I guess I didn't read that letter. They're looking for a donation.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
What did we get for proms? $100?
You get $100, yeah, for after prom.
We did the same with these guys?
I don't believe we have in the past, but I don't see if there's any reason we couldn't.
I don't know how many of these come through here. I don't want this to become a,
Well, all I know is there's a tournament every weekend.
so this could be kind of.
Yeah, so you open that.
Well, now it's the community hospital if they need something to come to us formally, they want something.
So we don't have to act on that.
I always kind of felt like, well, who's that
Maybe-
to?
Well, it's just,
I think, if I remember, it just said Nemaha County on it, is all it said.
I guess
if
I
Laura
always,
needed something, she could come to us.
right, I guess I always felt like they want to get word out to us, and I usually play in this. I don't know if I'm signed up for this or not. I think I am.
You and your sons get together for the team.
Oh, it's always,
Are they better than you?
oh, yes. But I'm not so sure. I think they don't have a guy from the foundation that helps us plan that.
How many hours is sick leave do you get a month, right there?
8, that's a part-time, and it's only 40.
Probably be the last one for Larry Collins. I guess not necessarily.
Yeah, probably, because,
The 30th, April return.
yeah, unless he worked here at the end of the month, after the 21st,
See what else is the last day of the 30th.
okay.
30th and 31st.
He'll probably
yeah.
have another check done next month. Unless they went ahead and put it on this one. I don't know.
Did you tell me one time you guys had an audit done for your energy consumption?
Oh,
I can remember hearing something about that.
Yeah.
They-
We had
did
one
one.
done by 360 Energy, who actually then, they were the company that we worked with when we got the windows replaced and got the boiler and the chiller replaced and different things. And then we had another one done through Wildan Group here recently. That really never followed up with
Nothing
any of
ever
their,
happened?
I mean, they came back and gave their recommendations, but
That's what I was wondering, if they had like a recommendation and like a breakdown, like, part of your building costs us a lot of money. I mean, does it need different light fixtures or something?
Oh, yeah, the electrical and the heating,
I have to look
everything in
and
that
see if I
building.
kept their recommendations
Insulated
for
or
that.
something.
I don't, that's what I was just curious, if they had some sort of a breakdown. You don't have to do it
It's
now.
almost twice as much
Yeah,
for that
I can
building.
look,
than it is
I can
for
look
this
and just see if I
It
think
is,
I kept
Yeah.
anything.
it's twice.
Twice
as
as much for that building as this building. This is a bigger building.
I think we changed the lighting there. You know.
But this is all concrete though, and the ceilings and everything concrete, maybe it holds the heat better because it's a fall off.
But there's a bunch of electric heaters running. Electric bill over there's $414.
Well, I can tell you that, you guys, at the time, that Wildan thing, their recommendation was 1.2 or 3.
Right. But I'm not saying we have to do everything.
Right.
You know, I'm just, if they had a breakdown of, you know, if you put in LED lighting, you could save
Mm-hmm.
$200 a month.
Is that where that discussion just built in the courthouse came from? Everybody on live on their own?
That's not stuff.
I'm fine with
I'm gonna
that.
start calling you the can opener. You like to open cans of worms all the time.
What's that?
I was trying to figure out what we're gonna do with that bridge.
Nobody even wants to touch it.
Well, is Troy gonna get a hold of,
Gene said he didn't even want to do it.
Rod,
He didn't
Ben, McKinley, yeah.
What's it take though to peel the brick off, just re-brick it and do it right, instead of just patching?
Well, that's what I was wondering, he's probably gonna have to redo it.
Would Dean be?
Because it doesn't sound like when they do the reference stuff, they put the flashings in the right spot, and it's just, they're talking like no expansion joints and all these things that weren't done.
But you also gotta remember this building's 50 years old. And,
Yeah.
more than that, 50, maybe 50, so you're at
70-some years old.
you're 70 years old.
Well, they top one this thing before they do it. Wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Because he had Dean come up and see what, he said whatever it needed.
I don't know if Dean's got much of a crew left anymore either. I mean, the brick thing's kind of dying down. I don't know what Dean's got for some of those. Yeah, that's why Dean didn't want to touch it.
And John.
John, yeah, and
John.
he's still working, I think, and he'd be a good one to come and look. And Dave Hunsinger on it at my house, and he was predecessor to Ben. Ben
Okay.
worked with Dave forever. Okay. To get a good, honest recommendation,
This is what
to
we're
me, I
doing, Jason.
trust,
I thought I could find it
Dave or
quickly.
Ben or.
There's stuff like, there's stuff under facility assessment for that building and then under utility and then under
Recommendation.
recommendations, so.
Cause those guys.
You can sure look at that.
Yeah.
I might have you, I might make a copy if you want to take it
I'm
home.
not gonna use it.
If you want to, I'll make you a copy. We can-
There's a lot of them there. Yeah. Yeah, and that's been,
We're gonna make Ray K smarter.
Deanna and I are going to our conference next week, not this week, next week. But we're not going to the whole thing because the auditor will be here on site a couple days too, so we're only gonna go to, the Thursday is the mandatory, HADA election training. So we kind of have to go that and then we're doing the Friday morning, but not Wednesday's activities. The auditor will still be here.
where is it, Mary Kay?
Overland Park.
Oh, the convention center, the big convention center down there? Doesn't matter.
No, I think we're at the Radisson. Radisson Hotel. Could be, in I don't know, it's either Overland Park or Nexa. Yeah, I gotta figure out where I'm going, yeah. I can't tell.
So you'll go down, what, Thursday morning, stay Thursday night, and
I
back
think we're gonna
Friday?
drive down Wednesday night, yeah, after work, and then
Get
stay.
there, and then you're there, well, that's good. You got rooms,
9 o'clock
Yep.
in the morning.
Yeah, so we'll be there 2 nights, Wednesday and Thursday night. And Thursdays is a mandatory election training thing. If we don't go to that, then they have makeup sessions and you gotta go to a makeup session. We don't have to worry about doing that.
Mhm.
But Wednesday, the day I'm missing is, the majority of it's just our business meeting. The clerks have, and then some breakout session things.
So when he was talking, that Scott, is that his name? He said a couple weeks ago.
Scott Lloyd,
When they was talking about if we raise the mill any, you gotta send out letters. Is that a done deal? I mean, did that pass through the state?
Tax lid.
Whatever they call
that's,
it.
it's Senate Bill 13, I'm pretty sure it did, I just don't know if the governor signed it yet or not.
Well, if the fire department raises theirs, let's say the county stayed the same with the fire department raises theirs and the school raises theirs, you still gotta send out a letter for the,
They were exempt.
they was exempt.
Sheriff, fire, emergency.
Well, that's on the tax lid.
Right.
This is
Is that what
something.
you're
No,
talking
this
about?
is that other deal, if you
It's
raise,
a percentage.
If the Senate Bill
Assessed
13
value.
would get rid of the tax lid,
Right.
but yet you would have what's called a revenue neutral rate that would be calculated based on what you did. It's basically how much ad valorem that you brought in tax dollars the year before. And if that's gonna increase, then you have to send letters out to all the people in that taxing entity, notifying them of when the public hearing is. Even though we already publish the public hearing in the paper and everything, I guess that's not good enough. We gotta give them individual
You gotta
notification.
send out 10,000.
Yes.
so the notices are all gonna be different, then you probably can't get them all the same with.
Because township.
They're working on that yet. I
So I don't know how
that's
much of a
been, that's
done deal
being
this
discussed
was.
yet.
It sounds like a pain.
Time to, because then they can generate that letter for us.
Right.
And it would spit it out, we just have to send it out. So, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I am on May 19th or something. I think on the 19th, we are having our budget, workshop, but it's only gonna be a webinar, but, virtual. And so they're supposed to talk about Senate Bill 13 and what that means for us. That's the people that teach that class is the ones that kind of monitor the whole budget process throughout the state. Not probably for the state itself, but the counties and cities. Yes.
It's not much. Just curious.
I'm wondering if that was for the day we had that department head meeting over there.
Hi,
Oh, she's right there.
Oh, it's not much.
What?
See that here margin charge? You
Looks
bought
like
water.
we charged water on,
Then we had the meeting over there with the pizza.
but it was only $2.99. Yeah, that's probably right. That was a 24 pack.
So
That's what I got for you guys.
Yeah, I bet that was for the department head meeting over there right now.
You're lucky.
I didn't
I
think
am
two,
just fine.
I didn't think $2.99 would
I'm
get that
not
much
worried at
water,
all,
but it is,
so-
24. You're good.
So, did you sign that?
No.
She did sign the
No,
receipt.
signed the receipt.
Yeah, okay. I just wondered if you knew. We kind of like to see those signed.
I was,
She signed the receipt.
Yeah, okay,
I always
okay.
do.
I didn't know whether you had been told that.
so that was for you boys.
Thank
you.
And I
You're
told her,
welcome.
I told her to get that, because we were kind of, I said, do you want us to get something very? And so we
So I
just did it.
hustled and got it.
I'll have a margarita next
I was gonna say, next time go to the liquor store.
Yeah. Then they'll really be like,
I
Marge,
wanna-
get in here, we got.
I want to
questions
keep my
for you."
job, thank you very much. Okay, we've got the scrubber here. I
Oh, you
don't,
did?
I thought I heard something.
Yeah,
No,
you want
really?
yeah, that's that thing. So if you want to look at it, fine. If not, no big deal.
I do.
I just wanted you to know that it was here and they're gonna do that area downstairs
Oh, the guys
on
brought
the
it down.
ground level.
The main level,
Yes.
the lobby area.
And the two boys were here that brought it in. So I didn't know if you were in the middle of something, if you wanted to
Hey,
know.
tell us when they fire it up. We'll come and
Well, it's
watch.
fired.
I heard it before.
We
Well, that's
didn't
what we
put it
heard.
downstairs.
What is that noise? I thought maybe somebody was doing your power washing out here.
Not yet,
I was like, I could just hear it in here.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead
Trying to
and
get hold of those.
started and we might be down,
Okay.
so a bad time to wander down. Thank you. That's cool, I didn't think she did that. I think she kind of let Troy order that when he got back, after he was gone there for a few days,
Yeah.
so I didn't think we'd get it that quick.
Pleased. It's the stuff I like that makes everybody's day a little brighter, I guess. Just gotta-
on Marion was this $821 for power.
That's what I said.
Oh,
That building's expensive.
Gary's been having
We're paying for the power for
a
the.
heart attack on that for a while.
That's
right.
$871.
A massive coronary every month over that. Oh, we did new boilers over there too.
603
Yes,
603 Main Street.
Did
Yes,
we
we did.
do, lighting over there too?
I don't know how much.
We pay the power for the email.
Portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, no, we pay all utilities for that.
Is it all?
I think so.
Okay.
I know we pay Kansas Gas Service, we pay the phone line. I bet you we pay like through the city too for electricity.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at that.
Yeah, it won't hurt my feelings to get out of there. Build their own building.
We're-
Well, I was afraid somebody was gonna ask that.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I can't have that.
Expensive for that sign there. $2.70 a mile.
How many Kansas County clerks in Kansas counties belong to your association?
Belong to the Clerks Association?
Yes.
I think all,
Do you?
then I think there are some that don't belong to KC. Some of those counties. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got,
There were some that was kind of.
for sure we have full representation. We actually have 109 because there's some of them that have both a clerk and an election commissioner. And we're all one association.
That was Leanne's
So that's,
tenure. That they walked from the police.
We still don't have them.
yeah, that was before me.
Last week they were supposed to have been.
I didn't go down there and look this morning. That there says it looks like it's another 30 days. They want paid before they even think about shipping. How's that make you feel?
Maybe we do this. We'll just wait till we get them. It's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about there.
There's no benches down there, right?
I just told her, I said,
Go.
I talked to her, before we had last Monday's meeting, we're still not there, she was saying at the end of the week, but
I don't know for sure, but I haven't heard any of, anyone say that they've been delivered, but Amy brought that voucher in just shortly after we'd already paid on the 15th, maybe even been here. And she said, I realize that you guys don't pay me until the 30th. She said, and as far as I know, that's gonna be early enough to pay this because they still haven't showed up. But I told her, I said, if something would happen and they need payment right away in order to get them, I said, we could cut a check separately, between
Well,
the 15th.
and I just talked to
But we
her.
have not done so yet.
I just talked to her this morning, and she has, they kind of wanted to come in, this is 26, they wanted to come in this week. Well, they scheduled some hearings, so she said, I can't have you guys in there, because we've got hearings scheduled based on what we learned a long time ago. You said you were gonna be here the week of the 19th, and you weren't, so
So we've
she was
already
trying
got
to work something
scheduled.
out, but, I mean,
we gotta come up and see.
That, or if you wanna go down and see
Yeah,
that
when we're
floor
down
machine,
there,
we can
yeah, why don't we do that?
peek our head in there.
I think you wanna go see the floor machine, right, Kay?
I kinda do.
You're getting kind of excited over there, back getting out
Well-
of here.
Well, I could just hear the thing before, and I'm like, what is that spraying sound? Sounds like somebody's taking a shower down there or something.
so I guess we need, Is this what that invoice said, according to that invoice, so we pay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's there.
Wasn't it supposed to be done like the 12th or the 8th of March? They're supposed to have dimensions here originally on the 12th or 8th of March.
Yeah, because the 12th is when they tore everything
That's
out.
like almost 6 weeks.
Wasn't that the 12th of March, I think, that was the week they started tearing everything out.
That's almost 6 weeks longer.
No, I think it was the week of the 8th. The 8th
Yeah,
is the week that they were tearing everything out.
that's 6 weeks.
It's all COVID related.
Okay,
Yes,
Cody Park.
that was not signed.
Yeah, well, they,
okay, well, but that's just,
Right, I know what it is.
yeah, and Kathy just,
Just don't make me go through these again next week.
no, oh, where are you saying it's not signed? Oh, over here, no, that's fine. As long as Gary puts his stamp on it, even if Diane didn't, if she doesn't, I'll put my stamp on it. Have it done. Unless the auditor throws a fit, and I won't be able to do that anymore.
Forgot about that.
I thought you meant the receipt, the ticket wasn't
Oh,
signed.
no. I'm glad that thing's still working, because they made a comment that that printer out there on that thing gets kind of,
On that fuel pump.
sounds like it has its moments.
I like this bill. Service the fire extinguishers. Up there at 500. That's what the fifth one is. Basically. Instead of 500.
so they've been on the place already?
And they've already done, they already do the sheriff's department. and stuff,
Oh,
so-
okay.
So
They've
you
never
guys-
been in, they've never been in this building.
You guys knew that and.
Yeah. It was like that versus 500.
So as far as
94 versus-
for the courthouse and the,
I told the guys to go ahead and do it, so next time hop in there.
but it doesn't need to be done
It's like
this
a
year
yearly thing.
because Centos already did it for 21.
Yeah.
So I think Troy's got them scheduled to start coming next year. And I emailed the guy to let him know that we were in the service after we paid his invoice here.
Great.
Ooh.
It's done for 21.
Well, this guy's ain't ready.
Must be an attorney.
Yeah, it's the cross hour.
I don't know.
What building is this? 212 North Sixth Street.
That's the LEC or sheriff's office.
Yeah, I think you did a kick out of that.
$1,300 on that.
I should probably show this.
Tom Plank Corbin,
Yeah, hopefully.
is he done?
They don't know. He just got started yesterday. And they had trouble getting they had trouble with the GPS and everything. Didn't know one.
Like Gremlins move in over winter.
So he was hoping that today he was gonna get started and get something done. I hope so.
Yeah, there's something to be said for my little marker.
You can plant without sunlight. I can't do it in free.
You got your marker on to go by that?
Absolutely.
You probably got that down just fine.
Well, that,
Some of them guys don't need markers, Gary. They just sit there, look forward, know exactly where that plan is at.
I planned for years with my old 1256 row with that thing, and I just got tired of keeping them up, the chain, big chain that it went through the frame, and I wired them up, but I planned for years without them. Now, I'm not gonna tell you that sometimes it wasn't painfully honest, apparent that I didn't have them, but you know what?
Little zigzags.
I'm the one who was in the combine and I didn't care.
Yeah. Ever get that recording device put in to the court? You put in that recording device, we didn't have to have
Do you have have anything for Brad as such?
I just have a couple things,
Yeah.
it's not much. One of them he's probably just gonna have to take and do some research
Whose
on.
handwriting is this?
Oh, that's that Steve Caution.
That's what I like.
He needs to be the secretary. Type that up for him.
The doctor?
Attorney.
That's what I was wondering on some of this stuff. They got recommendations over here. You know, of replacing a few windows or putting in some LED lights. I mean, they've got recommendations on all the buildings. That was kind of a nice little write-up.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one from Wildan?
Says it way at the bottom of the page,
Yep.
because I had to look for it too. I think this is the right one.
You go to the Pioneer Building. And it- Replace rooftop units with high efficiency rooftop units. Replace older split HVAC systems. Add ventilation to the basement to get rid of the moisture in there. We've never done anything with that.
Just been
Yeah,
having a DUI.
well, that's right, the basement, we've never touched that, have we?
There's a basement. In this building you talking? Oh.
Pioneer Building. Got mold growing in the basement because they can't get the water out of it. And that is pretty neat. The courthouse is 20,000 square feet. They're calling the Pioneer Building 19,500. So these buildings are about the same size, and that was costing us twice as much money.
So
And this
I
is
don't
a
know,
two-story, that's a single story.
the only thing I can think of over there is, you know how like, like they're, in the wintertime, their heat, and in the summertime, the fan will blow all the time on the ventilator, the register. And then the air will only kick on, you know, every so often, but the fan blows,
It moves there all the time,
moves
but
there all the
it's
time.
not calling for heat.
Right, right. And ours isn't like that. Ours shuts off completely and then kicks on again later on. I don't know if that's the difference or not.
But I think when we put new windows in this building with,
Oh, Joe Hurla.
Joe Hurla. That was, at the time, there was federal money when, President Obama was in office and all those new windows we put on for him.
I would have to look. I thought we had to pay something, but a lot of it was through that grant. Yeah, it was like through a grant.
And so, you know, and I know Leslie Scott, we talked to him about, that's when they, the foundation started, the city had acquired the old armory. You know, there wasn't air conditioner in that, and she approached this Joe Hurla herself and said, would that, something like that qualify? He said, for sure. So consequently, the city got that. Now, these guys, he said they were joking, they're springboard off of that. And they this time,
They're calling the old Pioneer Building 87% efficient. Courthouse is 94.
really,
That's pretty neat. Isn't it?
well, that old boiler in the old school, you know, was big around this room. And, you know, they put in, what do you see down here? What we got, those small ones. It just makes perfect sense, what the new way they do it, it's just a lot more energy efficient. No,
Seen some of them?
so this is a court-appointed attorney that usually not quite that much money.
I don't know, Gary, you might be right on that, because two of the vendors that I'm pretty sure it was Binswanger Glass that put the new windows in. And then the company that did the boiler and chiller was Design Mechanical.
Design Mechanical, you know.
I can't, either that was old enough that it's not picking it up in the CIC system, or we didn't pay them.
I don't think we paid a
I'm
dime
not
for all
finding it.
that. I remember him saying that was
So you may be right. You know.
federal money trickling down, and he had, Joe Hurley had millions.
I put in 360 Energy Engineers and I'm not finding anything
And they did it all. I mean, they did the engineering analysis. They did a some of that trim wasn't there.
there. The windows turned out.
That
really
machine
nice.
still running down there?
I can hear Troy down there talking to somebody, so they must have done it. Gary, hurry up.
Yeah.
What time is it? 7:30.
There's another.
Cold-plated stuff.
Any business?
Nothing but, I think, yeah, the only thing is, like I said, we just got an invoice, our first invoice from Cook Flat and Strobel for the Irish Creek project. And I'm not sure, I want to talk to Brad about how we decided that we were gonna, because remember that NextEra should reimburse us for all that. So I'm not sure if we're gonna pay it and then get reimbursed, or,
I think that's, we can discuss it. How much is it?
yeah, you can look at it.
I think it was gonna take out the pilot money.
But the reason I was gonna ask Brad is because they emailed this to him too, it looked like, and I know he was in on that conversation. That's the
Yeah, I know,
total.
I'm glad that got rid of
Yeah,
it.
right,
because
that's
they
like the
just
cap, and then this is what they want now.
kinda- they just kinda keep on that, but-
So, I can't remember, I was gonna look back, are we supposed to get any payments?
Have we ever got paid the 36,000 from you?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's
That's
fine.
done, so everything's caught up then.
I think when they're done, they're
For
supposed
the
to pay
Soldier
for a
Creek.
use of 64th Road and part of G Road, like 125,000 for that, and the total project is.
What's going on?
But we haven't seen.
I think it's when it's done.
Okay, when it's
Right,
done.
that's what
Okay.
sticks in my mind.
Okay,
Project.
that makes sense.
What about, that 125 for the building?
Yeah. We haven't seen that.
I think that was, that's done. Indicated in there upon completion.
Completion of their project, the Irish Creek project, or
No,
completion of that.
of the building.
Oh,
I think that's what, did we look that up? I think that's the way that may have.
could be. So I guess if we're gonna pay this, then we'll have to talk about what account we're gonna take that out of.
This one?
I mean, I
I thought we
understand
were
we're gonna
gonna
get
take it out.
reimbursed.
I thought we was taking it out of pilot so that we didn't mess with anybody else's budget.
The only thing that bothers me is I just want, do you think that there should be two separate accounts? One for the Soldier Creek project, which we currently have. Should there be a whole nother account set up for the Irish Creek?
Where are you gonna get the money from to put in it
I'm not until
Take
until they
that
reimburse
general.
us.
though? I guess you could just take this out of general. Put it back in there as soon as we get paid.
That or,
Is there anything on the contract that said that we would pay first? I remember talking to Brad, I wanted them to pay up front.
with the Soldier Creek project, Next Era paid Cook Flat and Struggle directly. We weren't the middleman. But
I think it's different.
But I can see that Cook Flat and Struggle wouldn't want to do that again because they had trouble getting their money, getting paid at times.
Because we, and that they work for us, not for next year, so it's up to us to pay them. That's why I wanted to make damn sure that we had this cap on there, that
Yeah.
everybody was in agreement that that's 175,000 at the max.
Well, when I talked to Brad on that, that's why I was wanting to pay it up front, so we weren't waiting on money. So we weren't just changing positions with, engineer.
Well, then
You know, if we wanna do something with that pilot money this year, we gotta dance around what they're gonna be billing us out, and wait to get money back too. That could hamper some of the stuff that we do on our roads. That's not our money.
we won't incur anything else on the Irish Creek thing, will we? I mean, I don't know what it would be, yeah. And they're not taking anything else across us. I mean, it could be going up and down 9, but we don't have anything to say about that. Yeah, there must not be, or I mean, they signed the final documents over there, you know, like a month ago, maybe not, they weren't going to go. Call Brad, see if he's available.
You wanna run down with the machine while we're waiting?
Oh, is it still down there? Do you know, did you?
I don't know where you
Yeah.
said
It's gonna be down there.
peek in and check with Amy what's going on with the pews.
Yeah,
Then we can see if we run into Brad. Might
right.
as well go holler at him,
I'm not sure how these guys. Oh. That's confusing. So,
how they come up with that.
You notice that?
No, I didn't look at it too close. The detail of it. So look at that tan. I see where your sunglasses are at.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
I brought some of the warm weather back with me. I had to use the wind to transport it up here.
Yeah. Have you used the south wind?
Yes. So, nope, I'd like to say it's good to be back, but yeah, first day there.
So where'd you end up going?
We were at Riviera Maya, south of Cancun. Heard of it? Had a friend who has a timeshare. And had some extra rooms. Hey, come on down.
That's for you later.
So-
Talk about her a little bit.
So my lodging is free, thanks to that. We had a cruise canceled last November, then we had to use the airfare or lose it. So we used that, so other our expenses down there, it cost us $54.
Oh, really?
That was not an all-inclusive resort, so we still had to pretty good behind it. So, it was nice to be away
Rain on you?
for about 10 minutes.
Afternoon shower?
Just, I mean, it was kind of all off the coast, so so guys, just when Captain and I were taking a walk down the beach and it rained for just a little bit, and cleared up.
Where were you at?
Riviera Maya, south of Cancun.
South.
Yeah. Yeah, nope, it's pretty darn nice. It's like 89 every day, humid, but with the ocean breeze, it felt good.
Really.
Yeah. If you think that retirement would be so bad.
I've only been to one of those places, but something that stuck out in my mind is to stand on that coast and look out towards the ocean where you can't see, I mean, no other land. And it's dark out there.
Well, you've always said that you don't get a cruise ship, you can't see that.
That's right, still that way. But I guess I'd never seen that before. And you can't, around here, you can see lights of, but look out across that water for miles. Oh, yeah, it's dark. I hate to be out there in a boat with no lights on it,
Yeah.
You scared of the dark?
Yeah, well.
Like these cruise ships that don't have any navigation equipment. No.
I'd be okay on a big boat, but I don't wanna be on no lifeboat.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
No
know.
rowboat.
Well, you understand that even the lifeboats on these cruise ships are not like in a row and all that. No, they're like these little mechanized things that hold 200 people. I mean, they're like a little boat in themselves, so it's not unlike Titanic.
Yeah.
Gary, he said you're in big trouble.
Who did?
Magistrate.
Oh, did he?
I didn't tell Deanne that being back is better than the thought of being back. It's like this morning, it's like, back to the odds. That should be the best.
Then once you get here, it's fine.
Once I get here, I was okay.
It's kind of like, I really dread getting started planting corn, but once after I get started, plant the first acre, and I just I get in the groove and I enjoy it. But that first acre, I just kind of dread.
Usually the first 5 or 10, you may get everything working.
Yeah.
So where'd you go?
We're at Riviera Maya, south of Cancun, about a half hour. Why don't you come back? I know. Then why you stay?
Yeah, I'm kidding. I said,
There's somebody else asking for a raise.
But the
we
way
can
three
do Zoom
couples.
meetings, right?
What's that?
Do Zoom
Dang right, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I did learn I need to take more time off. It's been, well, thanks to COVID, everything got canceled, so it's just been,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, good to get away. Welcome home.
Thank you. So.
We'll be the first ones to stress you out.
What, does he have that contract on his lap?
No, so this is the other thing I have, we'll talk about this first, so I think you got this email to you too, but you may not have seen it yet. We've gotten our first invoice from Cook Flat and Strobel for the Irish Creek
Yes.
project. And so, wasn't sure how we were taking care of the payment of that.
And the last, refresh my memory, Mary Kay, the last time around, I think they paid this directly, did they not?
Next
We
area
paid-
paid it
We
directly.
paid the attorney's fees, and they reimbursed us, but they paid this, so.
But I don't know that Cook Flat and Struggle's gonna wanna do that again, are they, because of all the trouble they had getting paid by, I don't know.
Well, let's try it. If there's a problem, we can always address that time. but
That wasn't anything that was spelled out in any of our agreements.
I'll have to look at the contract again to see what it says. I know the biggest problem last time around was the fact that NextEra felt that Cook Flat Struggle was milking it too much. Their fees were far in excess of what they thought they should be. Now here a $9,000 bill.
And if you notice, they show the cap on there, of
Yes,
175,000.
exactly. So I think that probably will set your mind at ease. Let me try, because I got this as well, like I said, I'm not a chance to review it yet.
Okay.
But let me send this on to Alan Anderson
Okay.
and to the new project manager, see if we can get this paid.
I'll take that back if you got,
Much more simple.
because it looked like you had been copied on the.
I
email
was,
as well.
yes.
Who is our project manager now? Is that the Jason Hunter guy, or is that just a field guy that I'm dealing with?
No, I'm trying to remember the name of the new project manager. He just came on a project just a few weeks ago. But, yeah, I got that in.
And do you remember, Brad? They wasn't gonna pay for what they owed the county until the whole project was complete, correct? Like use of the roads, I think there was 125,000.
I believe those were set up for when the project was
Project completed.
Okay, and then the
well,
other,
thanks.
the other thing that I have is what I gave you a copy of.
Okay.
So I just got this, I think Thursday or Friday from CIC. The second part of it, the American Rescue Plan Act on the second page, I understand what that is. It looks like if you've had an employee who was laid off or terminated because of COVID, that they can apply for a COBRA premium subsidy for their insurance. But we didn't have anybody that was
Okay.
laid off or terminated. But now this part on this first page talks about that employers can now claim a refundable tax credit against the employer's share of Social Security tax. And this is all still part of the CARES Act. I don't understand all that.
That was when businesses were paying out like 8 weeks for whatever for the quarantine, and the federal government was reimbursing. That's probably what that is. You filed the paperwork to get reimbursed on this. And I think you went up to 8 weeks. They would pay up to 8 weeks for employee, I think. But I don't know if that works for a county government. And then did we do it? Did we pay them when they were on quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, we paid our employees through COVID pay, yeah. I mean, we just coded it as, but I never knew if we were ever gonna get any reimbursement for that. But this is talking about applying for a tax credit to help pay at least the FICA, the Social Security
I wonder if
tax.
Ms. Sunderland would have any sort of,
That's just what I was thinking.
any sort of
That's
expertise
her.
in this.
Oh, Carlotta?
You wanna check with Carlotta and see
Yeah.
if she knows anything?
I just, this thing
Because it's a
kind of over my
benefit.
head.
I'm not sure what we need to do to get to employee retention credit, whether we would qualify for that or not. She might.
Okay.
If I check with her and not, let me know and I can look into this some more.
But would you agree when you read that second page, Brad, that sounds like that's.
Correct. That's just somebody who's leaving her employment who would be eligible to receive,
Like if they were involuntarily terminated,
rather than paying for COBRA like they usually would,
right,
there's a premium subsidy.
Right. but we didn't have anybody that we laid off or terminated due to COVID.
Yes.
Employee retention credit.
Those are key workers are paid, so. That have to get furloughed. And this is, I mean, essentially the employer could take advantage of this. Refundable tax credit against the employer share of Social Security.
Where's all this money coming from, by the way?
Real pretty,
It's getting pretty hot,
It
isn't it?
is, absolutely. China, can you cover some more of this? Sure. Yeah, I don't know where it's at. Like, it's free, we just make it up.
So like, it talks about in here, Brad, that the IRS has recently extended the date for employers claiming the employee retention credit under the under the CARES Act to June 30th.
Yes. So apparently it's been out there, we haven't taken advantage of it yet. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's
I
something we
didn't-
can or we can't.
I didn't know that it was available.
That's certainly the qualifications. So check with Carlotta, and if she knows, terrific. If not, I can do a little digging.
They'll know about her or.
Probably, they've been following all of this.
Scott.
And that's all I have.
All right.
Unless you have anything else. You can keep that copy if you want.
Okay, good, so, excellent. Gary, you would give me a copy of a contract with the ambulance service?
Oh,
It was like
yes.
Expired and.
Yeah, it was Samantha, yeah.
Okay. Are we still paying the city to submit them in that contract, or are we still, so that's just continuing? So it sounds like we could probably use somewhat of an update, just so we're not.
Yeah, I mean, that's been expired for what, a couple of years?
Yeah, what a while. So. Let me see where that. Let me look for that contract. I can't remember if it's I drafted or Martin drafted or.
I was gonna say, between you and Martin.
So let me check with Martin and try to figure that one out.
Second Amendment resolution, I haven't seen that in the paper, has that been posted? Something?
I'd have to look. I know they did when we extended the moratorium, they got that
Yeah.
published. Did the,
I'm not sure, was that supposed to be
I don't
published?
think
I think that was just
I don't
supposed to
think
be,
it did.
I think it was something just to be publicized on our Facebook page or website.
Okay.
I think that was something
Let me-
that-
let me go grab
It
that and
doesn't
see what it
require
says.
It doesn't require publication.
It really doesn't.
Doesn't affect.
It doesn't, it doesn't have any actual, I mean, consequences, yeah. And it's something that we're not doing by statute, which sets forth a publication. So not, only the resolutions that require publication pursuant to some law. Publish unless we want to.
On that mask mandate back in January, did we opt out of all of our executive orders? And that resolution,
Just that last one. We can specifically opt out of any other public health orders that she would issue. But the most recent mask mandate that she issued, the legislative coordinating committee opted out of that before we even had a chance. In the future.
there's a few of them executive orders we need to,
Yeah, I don't think
Definitely look
I
at it,
didn't
not
put
that.
that on the website. or anything.
what's going on.
Okay, yeah.
I'll get you the exact ones, but they're pretty stringent. It was made back in July that doesn't pertain to
Are they public health orders?
us.
Because the only way we can opt out is if it is a deemed a public health order, like a mask mandate would.
Probably a public health order.
This is-
Well, I'll find the which ones that I'm talking about. I'll
Yes,
bring them
have
to you
one
Monday.
publicized.
Okay, so this was the resolution that you did involving the Second Amendment. Since it didn't say anything in there about publicizing it, I haven't put it on the Facebook or website or anything. All I did was we did it during open session, it was signed, and it's in the minutes.
That was the other thing, I was wanting to talk to Jane about was PHE's guidelines were changed on March 23rd. For an alternative measures, modified, what I'm looking for. So those have been changed. That was something I always wanted to look, we probably need to update, because I think we're still following back in July, is what Governor Kelly said, back to school policy.
Jane follows the recommendations of KDHE generally. There have been times that she has been more lax. For instance, she modified her guidelines so that if you're in a school setting and you're in close contact with, you're both wearing masks, and she was not required quarantine. She changed that before KDHE did. But she's following, not what the governor said, she's following what KDHE.
Does she have to follow KDHE though?
She tries to, just because there's something, generally, it just backs her up, she's not on the limb so much. But we talked quite a bit about modifying the quarantine order regarding kids wearing masks at school. So she probably got tired of waiting on KDHE on that one. And after, I think Jefferson County passed it, she felt bold to go and do it here as well. So she modified that.
You probably don't remember what that said as far as the
Well,
kids at school. I mean,
Well, what the July one says is, if a child tests positive, they have to quarantine off-site, it was at that time, it was like 14 days or whatever. The asymptomatic, anybody that was within that close contact, 48 hours for more than 10 minutes, had to quarantine as well for 14 or some odd days. When, I think it was in December, changed to modified quarantine, we changed it to 7 or 10 days, 7 if you test, 10 if you decide not to. Now, what KDHE came out and said on March 23rd, it's a modified quarantine. So KDHE before then didn't, like I said, Jane changed that.
Yeah.
So what KDHE says on March 23rd is modified. So if the child tests positive with COVID-19 and there's someone right beside them, whether KDHE's view is whether they wear a mask or not, they have to quarantine. But the new modified says that the child doesn't have to stay home. If they're asymptomatic, they still go to school.
oh, I see.
You don't keep them at home, they go to school. They just have a separate area, the school has to cut. The ones that are, in that quarantine are in their own classroom, but they're not staying home alone.
You can check with Jane, this body has no means of directing what the quarantine should be. That's entirely up to Jane, the local health officer. Then it'd be up to me to enforce and somebody chooses not to comply with that.
That's what I was wondering, if she makes the quarantines too strict, and it's up to you to come up to a way to punish these people. And like, in a sense,
She
I mean,
will, generally she's done, and she will simply tell somebody, you need to quarantine. And they just say, okay. In unique circumstances where somebody says, I'm not quarantining, and Jane felt like, no, they really need to, they pose a public health risk, she will actually have them served with an order of quarantine. And if they refuse to comply, then I can file something to enforce that. We haven't had to go that far. It's only happened like a couple of times where she's had actually once or twice. There was one time I remember, and there was a second time where she talked about doing it, having them serve an actual order of quarantine. So it's pretty rare, and she's always been on the lax side of what KDHE has directed or recommended.
Now, she would have to get approval for those, wouldn't she, from Board of Commissioners to make a,
Quarantine order? No.
so she could say whatever she wanted to.
Quarantine orders are up to her.
She should say you could be quarantined for 100 days.
She could, but she hasn't.
Well, I'm not just saying it.
Yeah, she could.
She could.
Quarantine orders, yeah. That's
So how
within
does-
the purview of the local health officer, not this board. Now,
So-
because you
so
wanted to
we
be
could-
involved back when we were having that many cases, I'm sure you probably could have been, if you wanted to vote, yeah, to do it.
no,
No, and she will oftentimes bounce stuff off, she's bounced stuff off of me in the past. And she looks like she was changing things regarding kids at school or in this.
So how does it work now with Senate Bill 40?
Quarantines, I'm not aware it's impacted quarantine orders.
The reason why-
It certainly does any order coming from the governor. If the governor were to issue an order involving quarantines, that's a public health order. You can then modify and issue less restrictive orders to the governor. So that's there. But I'm not sure if the governor's ever issued any specific orders regarding quarantines. And
Well, I
something-
I think the Senate Bill 40, the language in it specifically states that no, the governor, by executive order, no county health official, no city health official, no board of commissioners, any public official can affect the attendance or operation of that facility. It's strictly up to the school board.
Yes.
So I guess the way I'm reading this, and it states no action, order, or policy. And so who's to say if the school says, well, if you have COVID-19, you don't have to quarantine from school?
But the local health officer can still issue an order of quarantine to keep somebody in their home
She could, but she can't enforce it.
through me.
But it wouldn't shut down a school, right? For taking that bill.
I mean, she'd have to have, I mean, if she, if every student in the school in quarantine, she could, but.
See, that's what I was wondering, because Senate Bill 40 says you can't affect the operation or attendance of the school.
Where's this bill at?
It's
It's
passed
just the
March
most recent bill that's
25th.
passed, it limits the governor's authority.
Okay,
It's published.
it had been passed,
It's
yeah.
been passed, and it was March 25th.
Okay.
It was under that, it was under that bill by which the latest mask mandate. was
Same law.
supported by
Okay.
the list of-
Okay.
He essentially puts most of the control in the hands of county commissioners and local school boards with regards to schools and other health issues, because if it passes the muster of the legislative coordinating committee, then the county commissioners still have the authority to issue less restrictive orders.
But we still can't override Jane's decisions.
On quarantines themselves, I have to review the bill.
I'm just
not
curious.
aware that it
It's not-
actually get back to that.
There's a lot of questions coming to me about quarantine, and I don't have any answers.
But
Well,
there's
that's
a
where
check
it's
on
coming
that
from. I've gotten a
because-
lot of emails over the last week or two, the questions, concerns, so that's what I'm trying to get clarified.
In a lot
I
of.
don't even know what I can or can't, so.
Yeah, regarding quarantines, I'm not aware the commissioners have any special authority there. I do simply because I'm the enforcement agent of things. And obviously, if our local health officer decided to become a little too happy with quarantine orders, then I need to say I'm not gonna enforce it.
But if she's staying in, basically in line with KDHE, then there's really nothing.
I mean, I could still, for instance, I had COVID and now I've been vaccinated. So if I have close contact and Jane says you need to quarantine, I'd say, no, I'm not. And if she ordered somebody else to quarantine in those circumstances, I would say, I'm not enforcing it. And if there's no enforcement of it, then essentially the order doesn't, it's just simply a piece of paper.
Let me ask you another question. So how does that work with vaccines? So a lot of people ask me, so what if let's say our public health official does say, hey, you have to have a vaccine to go back to school or to these buildings, and you've got to show documentation.
Yeah, that would
And that's
be,
her.
that would be a constitutional issue that would have to be dealt with.
I mean, that would be something the board could override.
No.
We couldn't override it and say, write a resolution that no
Well,
vaccines can be mandated to enter any type of
I don't
premises
think
within
she
a
has
public
the authority.
school or.
Well, she doesn't have the authority to order vaccinations, so that would be something that I would take care of from my end, from the legal aspect of it.
But the governor can't force people to get vaccines to go back to school or anything. I mean, I don't know where
She's
this
gonna
is.
do an executive order.
I don't know where this thing's
Well,
headed.
she is, but that would be a public health order. If the governor enters the order, then that is subject to review by the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay.
But for instance, when the governor was shutting down churches before Easter and allowing people to gather in other locations, but not churches, because I wrote a letter, it's a memorandum that just stated that that would not be done, because I believe to be a constitution. Frankly, I had a judge who gave me all sorts of, and still gives me, it hassles me about it, because like, what the Supreme Court is determining that my decision was correct, so. You can get all over me for allowing people to gather in churches on Easter, but U.S. Supreme Court says that, yeah, they have a constitutional right to do that. as county attorney, I think it's best I probably follow the US Constitution. So there's the check there that we come.
So how does that work with the, kind of like the third party contract with the health department?
I mean, you could appoint it as separate, a different local health officer.
Well, I mean, does it have to, does it have to be a doctor or nurse, or do we appoint them every year? Is it like every 5 years, 4 years?
I don't know, I mean, I'm not sure, Gary, you've been a part of that process, I am not.
Well,
You
with
just don't.
James, it's annual.
Well, annually, we approve an amount for the services. But as far as making an appointment, like a resolution that actually appoints her as the local health officer, I don't remember.
You have to at some point in time.
Yeah, we did, but I don't ever remember really renewing that.
I don't think so.
I think it stands until you do something different.
Yeah.
She was appointed at some point in time and remains as such until something else is done.
So you look at that appointment, so there's your check. If she decides she's way out of line, that you
You
can.
find someone else.
Correct. But I mean, just because I've dealt with it a lot through this, especially when things were much more prevalent in county. She's shown a lot of really good common sense around this. We've been very, because there are some local health officers in other Cactus, Shine, Atchison, and not.
Wasn't Atchison when they were trying to, quarantine one type college and lost in the dorm?
Yes.
Yeah, that project.
That was it. That was a really bad decision. Some of the county commissioners were following along. But I don't think it happened, but there was some question whether or not.
These guys got a plan for it.
Okay. I know,
So don't say it.
Okay, I won't.
You might be interested in
No,
that.
exactly.
Business in our hotel been down, which was good.
It really is easy to do things with snow versus ice. The winter's flurry we get to like, June, July, and then that's when yeah, well, during the stay-at-home orders, things were really slow. But then once June, July hit, suddenly we were no longer staying at home, and we just gave up a lot of stuff. Maybe they just burned themselves out, I don't know. But it's been pretty slow, it's been very nice. Last week I made a project, commercial county attorneys for this, pro-tem county attorneys, since I would be able to actually, and which is where I was.
Really, your phone never rang.
He had sent an email, so you got somebody in jail, I had to do something, and then next week, email was at the bottom now. So it's really. Nice.
Got that one for Beth that phoned it out, and something good about that. But
Yeah, thank you, stimulus checks. Stimulating the economic situation of our bonds. Yeah. All right, I'm not gonna ask that question, you go plant orange.
All right.
See you
thanks.
later.
Thanks, Brad.
Well, what else, guys? Mary Kay,
Nothing from me.
next week,
I guess I do have one question. Go ahead and leave that quote for that ceiling work on here, table it,
Yeah.
table it. Next week. let's see what we got. The only thing out of the ordinary next week is Northeast Kansas Environmental Services would like to provide an update, their annual update, and probably, I guess, make their request for
Who called you for that?
By email, Martha
Martha? Yeah.
Smith, is that right, Martha Smith?
Yes.
We did all that, set that up through email. I think her and Logan were gonna be coming.
Oh, well, okay.
And then, Rich will be gone again next week, and I think that has to do with golf. maybe.
Yeah.
But it sounded like Bob will be coming in. That's it, so forward for next week.
Anything else, commissioners?
We approve the minutes. What about the vouchers? Can you approve those in there?
No,
No,
not
not
yet.
yet.
No, we're not till next week.
Until next week.
One other thing. You did it. I did it. I should have read that text message. Where are we at on our road and bridge supervisor? When you guys start?
Well, thanks for bringing that up. We've, how many applications do we have?
I've had nothing new since, the one last week that you got.
We gotta get out of here. Don't make it too long.
We'll just grab it.
Jeez.
I'm gonna pack up. So that way I'm just gonna have it open up the door. My dad's never gonna know what to do when I show up early.
You're probably upstairs. Oh,
No problem, I won't catch him.
is this live still?
Yeah, just like that, huh?
Shall I, from manager? What is that? Is this building on fire again? or-
Coffee burn.
Oh, I thought somebody's popping popcorn.
No, they didn't shut the coffee pot off. Burned in the bottom of the pot.
Um,
That was my pick.
Which one? Top one?
Let's heard from. It's also,
You like one?
well, others have, that's been their recommendation from some other employees.
I think you did a good job.
I know he's gonna take a picture.
That's what I didn't know. Do we gotta have another interview, or are we just allowed to go through them and just hire the one we want? Or how does that work?
I would wanna do interviews.
You what?
I would wanna-
Anytime,
Take the ones that we want.
I think anytime you hire from within, we wouldn't have even had to advertise. But we didn't know, you didn't know that's what you wanted to do.
But we can select whom we might want to meet.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
said, we don't have to go
saying,
through that whole
I'm
file.
saying, I don't know if you
No.
need to interview. I mean, you don't have to interview any of those. if you don't want to.
That's what I was wondering. If we just wanna pick one of them people, we could all come to an agreement.
I believe so. I better run that by Brad for sure, but
Don't call it.
I just know like, the last position that I filled in my office, I had received probably, I wanna say like 24 applications. And I think I picked 6 or 8 to interview, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was nothing that said that I had to interview all of them.
Right.
I just did it just because I didn't know anything about any of them.
You can probably research some of the resumes and pick the ones that you stand out that you want to interview.
Right.
You know, it's hard.
But in this case,
30
we're
days,
familiar with.
it's been out there. How many more days you want to take applications before we close it and go ahead and finalize who we
So
want?
we haven't got anything new since, it's been a week now since the last one came in.
Yeah, I
You want to run
Yes,
one
there
more
was.
week and make a decision in May, or we could do this,
just gonna see when he was.
see what else comes in?
If we would wait till next week, Mary Kay,
Mhm.
would you make the pay start then, or would it be retroactive if it's filled within?
Probably back to.
We usually go back.
Would you go back
Yeah,
That- that's
Probably
the-
till like the beginning of the pay period, which is the 21st.
21st? That's what I was wondering. So we really don't have to do it today. We can.
And that, we've done that countywide. Go back. At times when we missed a pay raise, that's why we started that. It just got overlooked. So we went back. to-
March 15th is when the interim
Started.
started. Yeah.
March 15th.
Well,
So-
it was decided on March 15th, but I think
He took over on the
on
22nd, didn't he?
the, well, or on the 19th, I wanted to say,
Or the 19th.
So,
which was that.
Right of the month or 5 weeks, yeah.
You're probably right, 26, yeah. You're probably right. Or whenever that pay period started, the 21st, if I remember.
Right.
But the decision was made on the 15th.
well, let's think about it for a week.
I think you give it, might want to call some of the guys too, if we want to do interviews, try and schedule some time. I think there's one more here I would like to talk to. That's not an county employee. At least visit with them.
Well,
I can make a, see what he did here, because I could make a phone call on one of them too.
when was that last in the paper?
2 weeks ago.
Uh,
wasn't
Been a
should be
couple
in that-
weeks.
Should be in that folder,
Yeah, it's in the
back in that
back.
folder. Should say. I was thinking like March 29th, maybe?
it? What do you do to get 24 applications?
I don't know.
Do people just like you that much?
But this was back in 2013, so it was a few years ago. And I mean, it wasn't a administrative position like this is.
Well, we can't even find a mechanic, really.
Yeah, but again, you gotta have a knowledge base to, you know, you can't just
Watch what you
learn
say.
all that on, you know what I'm saying, on the job.
I'm giving you a hard time. You deserve it.
Probably so. I'll get back at you.
We get another file full of dates.
I don't know, I figured I got two, I went one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
See what else comes in. Some of the kids out of high school.
Do you wanna schedule any of those now or wait until
Let's-
next week?
Let's see if anything else comes in the next week.
And then we'll make it up. Yeah, so. Figure it out Monday, what day we want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
12/29. Mr. Chairman?
12:30.
Okay,
Adjourned.
12/29.
Okay, great. You're ahead of me. Thank you.
There's.
Meeting's been adjourned at 12:29.
Oh. Did you send an email out to Jimmy? Yes, I did. Okay, and then I sent